Well, well, well. Isn't it funny how things change in just a couple of days? Because 2 days ago, I came on social media and made a video about how one of y'all's faves was perhaps unintentionally sharing very dangerous, misleading propaganda. And y'all tried to come from my neck. Blue, do your research. When have I ever come on social media without doing research? Blue, you don't understand what's happening. Blue, why do you even care? You're not Nigerian. Aren't you Puerto Rican? That one was weird. I've never said I was Puerto Rican. But what I found interesting is so many of you were determined to attack the messenger rather than look into the message. And now, just 2 days later, two days later, just every scholar, economist, political expert, and cultural commentarian with a damn has come out and echoed my sentiments. And it's wild because these experts, these people who have a long track record of making sense, are repeating my points damn near bar for bar. So, was I wrong or was I just early? And I'm pointing this out because a lot of you don't recognize we are in an information war right now. We're in an info war where propaganda, cleverly repackaged or dishonestly framed rhetoric, and lots of tribalism is going to be spoon fed to us over and over and over again to lull us into being sheep and into believing things that are fake while ignoring problems that are real. And whether you love me or loathe me, people like me are necessary right now. And before anybody says something cavalier like, well, Blue, who put you in charge of telling us the truth? Who told you you needed to sound the alarm? James Baldwin. Baldwin once famously said, if I love you, it is my duty to make you aware of what you do not see. And so, in this time in history, because I feel like we all recognize that we are living in a time that will be heavily studied later on in history books, who you are right now is who you would have been in the civil rights movement. Who you are right now is who you would have been in the slave revolution. So the next time your favorite loudmouth cultural commentarian who has a track record of being reasonable says there's smoke, maybe sniff around before you talk shit.
What is it you wanted me to reconcile myself to? I was born here almost.
I'm going to remove the Baldwin clip because I don't know if it was copyright. Hey guys, I look a little crazy because I've been running around a lot. I have been in LA, back home in LA, like 14 hours. Okay. I had enough time to land at like 3 a.m. Order some Jack in the Box at like 3:15, pass out on the couch, wake up, decide to do my own makeup, realize I'm too sleepy to do my own makeup, call my makeup artist for my talk show. For those who don't know, I used to have a talk show. It's a whole other conversation. I had a talk show that was in pre-production. It's a whole thing. Called my makeup artist for my old talk show at 8:30 in the morning, asked her to come over because I just didn't have it in me. And then 30 minutes after she's done, am rushing to sit in this chair to tape the finale recap for the Braxtons with Carlos King. Shout out to Carlos King and Dustin Ross. And then after all that was done, it hit me, bitch, you have a live in like 3 hours and have not cut any of those clips that you've been collecting all week. So when I tell you, I just finished editing clips about 37 seconds before we started this live. Mother has not slept. So if I look disheveled, oh my God, and my face is melting. Y'all, I'm sorry. My face is melting. I didn't have time to reapply the makeup. Y'all, yes, I have almond eyes, guys. Do not say the C word. Those of you who grew up in the 90s used to call my eyes problematic things. Speaking of which, before I get into the topics, because so much has happened, there was some breaking news that literally happened as I was hitting the go live button. So if you see me looking up, it's because I'm reading it and becoming stunned as I'm about to report it to you. We need a little breaking news, little sticker or something, don't we? Little breaking news. When my makeup artist came over, I said, now who better to finally settle this debate that you guys started randomly last month than my makeup artist? I told my makeup artist, the people on the YouTube, for some reason, keep on sending me DMs every time I call myself a dark-skinned Black woman. And I was like, fuck lighting, because lighting, you know, if you're a Black person, lighting can make you lighter or darker. And I have come on here and said that it is a privilege of mine. It is a source of pride of mine that I can, in 2025, look into a camera. You guys are already writing the breaking news. Yes, I see it. I'm about to report in a second. I think there's something amazing that in 2025, when everybody is still using bleaching creams and filters that make them look like powdered Asian porcelain skin, and everybody has all this internalized anti-Blackness and are getting white girl BBLs and all types of foolishness, I am so tickled that I actually find joy in being a dark-skinned Black woman. And so when y'all started blowing up my DMs like, you not dark skin, you brown skin, my first thought was, that's some bullshit, right? And y'all know how I feel. All right. If you ask me what color I am Wesley Snipes. I am Lupita Nyong'o. I am Michael Blackstone with his eyes closed in the movie theater. Because to me, in the same way, no one would get offended being called more rich than they are. Why would you get offended being called more Black than you are? Oh, for those who are asking what white girl BBLs are, those are the new BBLs that Kim and the Kardashians got. So everybody thought they got rid of their BBLs. No, they got Country Club BBLs, which is a BBL. It's the same lifting high booty, but it's smaller. So you just look like a white woman who went to Pilates. Yeah, child. Part of conservatism coming back is now skinniness, ultra skinniness. Heroin chic is also coming back. Hey, Gia. Hey, Florence. Hey, Keiko and everybody else in here. So I told my makeup artist, I was like, girl, can you believe these internet trolls get upset when I call myself a dark-skinned Black woman? Like, I'm so proud to be a dark-skinned Black woman. And then she made a face. Shout out to everybody who's my color who considers themselves dark-skinned because they're not trying to pretend to be racially ambiguous. Shout out to y'all. Okay, shout out to y'all. She had a conversation with me where she explained to me that, how do I say this without y'all getting smug? She explained to me, okay, here's the thing. She might have pulled out a color wheel. And I'm only sharing this to, number one, now I knew it was coming. Don't do this. I started off this live and then I told you so, which I'm not about to do. No, don't get too excited. Okay, I said color wheel and I can literally feel people's booties clench. Thank you. Thank you, Daily Dose of Crystal. I like being Black. The reason why I am adamant in being called a dark-skinned Black woman is because there is power in finding joy in something that used to be considered a diss back in the 90s in my childhood. Can I have this? Yes, a color wheel. But so why? Okay, y'all. Thank you. We're Black, period. And I'm doing this because of all the girls who are brown, but not the blackest shade of brown, who are now on some bullshit. No, I'm not dark skinned. I'm cafe au lait medium Black with an extra shot of espresso. Girl, use Black. And it's okay to be Black. Thank you. Thank you. So she put up a color wheel. And here's the reason why I'm pulling up the color wheel. The funny thing is, when she does my makeup, people always say, Blue, what color are you wearing? And I don't know, child. I don't be reading the packages. The lady come and she put the thing on my face and I'm happy. But I said to her, I was like, hey, people keep asking what makeup I'm using. What is the makeup? Because I want to be able to answer this question. So I'm going to send myself the name of the makeup. So for all the girls who have been hitting me up saying, Blue, what foundation or what makeup do you use where your skin doesn't look extra crazy? Although it's funny because my skin looks crazy now because I've been running around all day and didn't blot. She told me the name. I'm going to pull it up. I'm also going to pull up the color wheel to show that I was not wrong. Y'all weren't wrong, but I wasn't wrong. This is one of them situations where everybody gets to be right. Let me explain. So my makeup artist, and I love her name is Dee, and I'll make sure to maybe at some point have her on the show. I would love to have Dee on the show because I do think there's a conversation around how anti-Blackness shows up in skin dysmorphia. Like people, remember there was a thing where everybody was NW45 back in the day. Like everybody was wearing the same chalky funeral makeup shade of MAC back in the day, and I do think that's deep in anti-Blackness. So she pulled up my color. I'm gonna pull it up for you right now. This is for the skincare girlies. For those who came here to talk about hot topics, don't worry, we will be talking about hot topics, but I always do about 10, 15 minutes of girl talk. The skincare that I wear is called Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. It's a tint because I don't like too much makeup. And it's by, I think this is a Black person. Maybe I'm racially profiling her. Danessa Myricks Beauty, right? So Danessa sounds Black as fuck. Danessa, you have to be Black. Danessa Beauty has a skin tint. So this is not like a thick, cakey foundation, which is probably why it's melting so easily into my skin and why I probably should have sprayed something on. But this is what I use, and this is my exact color as recommended by a professional. She is Black blue. Oh, thank you. She is Black. So you see how this is the color, in my opinion, of a dark-skinned Black woman. Now, this is the part where my makeup artist had to like explain the color wheel to me a little bit. Okay. What she's saying is, and shout out to all of you girlies who also are like me, and I'm wondering if this is a neurodivergent thing, where to me, brown is brown. What she's saying is, this is the color wheel on Danessa. Why are you saying blue, please? If y'all don't let me fucking have this, thank you. So here am I right here, okay? The square outline is my color. Thank you. You are dark-skinned West Coast. Wait, dark-skinned West Coast. Wait a minute. That sounds like y'all playing in my face a little bit. Not dark-skinned West Coast. What that mean? Is that like being West Coast sober when you still get high on weed? I'm not having this. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm number 12. That to me is dark skin. Thank you. Now, I sent it to Bridget Kelly and my sister. And Bridget said, not Blue, I love you, but yo, y'all are some Judases. What happened to the Blue crew? What happened to all that fucking solidarity we had 15 minutes ago before I came on? Y'all can call this brown skin all you want. To me, this is darkness, okay? Darknesses, okay? Are y'all trying to trigger Blue? I think they are. I work so hard to make love to my Blackness, and y'all trying to take this from me. In my opinion, this is what she said. She said, I'm the lightest of the dark skins or the darkest of the brown skins. Aha. Can we call a truce now? Can we call a truce now? Did y'all hear what the lady said? I'm the darkest of the brown skins and the lightest of the dark skins, which means we're all right. Are y'all really laughing at me? Not the last 4 are more dark, but baby, I'm the last 5. Just add one more and there I am. Just add one more and there I am. Don't do this to me. Now, here's why this is so fascinating, right? Because I am the darkest of the brown skins, according to the professionals. Wait a minute. Did you just call me crazy in Creole? Now this is disrespectful. But being the lightest of the dark skin and the darkest of the brown skins, here's why I think this is a valuable thing to bring up as a conversation about color and colorism and how we often find pride in our proximity to whiteness and our distance from darkness. And why, for me, reclaiming whatever proximity I have to Blackness is part of my revolutionary mindset, right? As somebody who's on this line, y'all need to stop saying now, Blue, y'all think I can count a potato. Like, I'm not slow, y'all. let me explain. And I'm using myself as a sacrificial lamb. Number 1, because I'm not harboring anti-Blackness. Number 2, because this is a huge topic on TikTok, guys. This is a huge, huge topic. Thank you. It's right in the middle, which means I can claim both. Y'all making me feel like I'm fucking biracial. So this is a huge topic on TikTok, and so I'm using myself as a sacrificial lamb because I've noticed it's the girls who are my color who be on this bullshit the most. The reason why this is important is when I was talking to Bridget on one of our episodes of our podcast on Patreon, Candace was in the live that we did. Shout out to Candace if she's in here. She's part of the Blue crew. And Candace said to me, she said, Blue, the thing about us is you have to recognize that you are the lightest of the dark skin. Thank you, Candace, for respecting me. Not a golden bronze. Y'all need to shut the hell up. The reason why this is important is because even though I am dark skinned in the Latin community, you guys have to remember I'm Afro-Latin. To Cubans, I'm Black as fucking night, okay? Even though I'm dark skinned in many parts of the world and I'm racially unambiguous, okay? Ain't nobody saying I know Black with me. Even the lady who said I thought she was Puerto Rican was on some bullshit because Puerto Rican is not a race. I am still a Black woman. But Candace also pointed out, yes, 420 girls stand up. Being the lightest of the dark and the darkest of the light means that we know what it's like to be considered racially unambiguous. And Candace, this is a bar, but we probably did not get teased as much as the girls who are the last two colors. Did y'all hear what I just said? Shout out to Candace if she's in here. And Candace, I know you're going to see this. The reason why brown-skinned women need to be in solidarity with dark-skinnedness and also maybe not be so dismissive about brown-skinnedness, even though to me, my brain is still, I'm going to be honest, my brain wants to reject this and be like, in the 90s, I was a dark-skinned bitch. It was me and Kelly Rowland, and y'all were calling us all types of jigaboos. And so I'm trying to tell my 90s childhood self to listen to 2025, because part of getting older is listening to the youth and letting them evolve us. So this is me doing the work live and in person, because everything in me wants to reject this. But the distinction she made is, as someone who's a number 12, the girlies who are like a 16, 18 further down, they got dragged in a way that I sincerely cannot relate to, despite my lack of racial ambiguity. And that may be part of why this new conversation around dark skin versus brown skin has sprouted, isn't just because a bunch of milk chocolate black girls want to pretend they're not dark, but also maybe because the girls who are darker than milk chocolate also want to reclaim a pain that is specifically theirs, that my proximity might make me want to co-opt unintentionally. So I will eat that. I come on here all the time and say, I told you so in different ways. I started this video, low-key doing an I told you so about y'all dragging me about Nikki and Nigeria, only to find out from anybody who's worth a damn that I was completely fucking right. If you want to apologize to me now in the comments for calling me dramatic, feel free to do so. And I cannot be quick to say I told you so without also acknowledging when someone who has a counter idea to me has made a valid point that I did not consider. Okay? Yes, it's a tie. So let's finally dead this debate, because I will continue calling myself a dark-skinned black woman. Yeah, I know I said all that, and I'm still not going to change. I'm a Taurus, y'all. I said all that to acknowledge y'all, because there's no safety without acknowledgement. I'm still going to go around calling myself a dark-skinned black woman respectfully, because politically, that's where I feel like I can do the most help. Okay, we finally settled this. Okay? Because I talk about race and politics way too much. I talk about blackness and colorism way too much for y'all to always be in my DMs about this. You not dark skin, you're just brown skin or bright skin or what. We're done, okay? My makeup artist has spoken up. We are done. All right, somebody said in the early 2000s, there was no in between. Thank you. In the early 2000s, they would have dragged me for agreeing with y'all, but I'm trying. Mother is trying to evolve with the times. All right, speaking of evolving with the times, I'm happy we put that to bed. I still low-key think, I mean, I like the fact that I wasn't wrong, but I can admit that y'all weren't wrong either, okay? Somebody says, you're not doing it with mouse, you're just proud. Yes, I'm not doing mouse, I'm just proud. Also, too, can I be honest? There's a certain level of shit that you can talk from the bottom of the food chain. There's some things that I get away with saying that if I was a more visibly Afro-Latin woman, if I was more racially ambiguous in my Afro-Latinness, I couldn't get that shit off. It's one of the few perks of being at the bottom of the food chain is that you can talk real big shit from the bottom, right? So there's also a little bit of that. My ego's gonna admit that. All right. Somebody said Blue has never said that her and Jesse are the same color. I've never said that, but up until recently, I would have thought it. I'm not even gonna hold you. I might have a color dysmorphia, y'all. In my mind, I really do think me and Jesse are the same color. And I think black is beautiful. So basically, if you tell me, Blue, do you want to be rich or richer? I'm gonna pick richer. So if you tell me, because I consider black to be as good as money, if not better, if you say, do you want to be black or blacker? I'm gonna call myself blacker. Not y'all saying, oh, because y'all were defending me. Okay. Shut up. Okay. Let me have this. All right, so let's move on. Now that y'all have gotten a chance to hear I told you so and also drag me, look at that. It's almost like we're democracy here. Everybody gets to be a little bit right? And Black is beautiful. And if I go to South Beach, let me tell y'all something. Don't let me go to South Beach with no suntan lotion and come back here and pull that chart back up. Because y'all forget that I fucking tan. But let me stop. The spiteful in me will lay on the beach for 3 days and come back just to say I told you so, but that also feels petty. All right, guys, let's get into the hot topics. I feel like we had fun for these first 22 minutes. So much has happened. I had a 3-part, yes, Black is beautiful. I'm gonna put that on the screen because it makes me happy. Jason's always like, I know you love all that, you love everything Black, and he's right. I love everything Black. As I was about to start my Hot Topics episode for today, and for those of you who are new here, who listen to me having an ongoing argument with the Blue Crew, hi, my name is Blue Telusima. I'm a writer, a podcaster, a producer, a YouTuber now, emotional intelligence coach, and a spiritualist. I teach emotional intelligence classes, and guys, I need to tell you, ooh, this bang is getting in my face. Guys, I'm a Gemini rising, and Gemini risings like to change their look. As much as y'all like this hair, it's changing tomorrow. This is about to be the 3rd hairstyle that I'm going to have in like the last week. It's the retrograde. It got me feeling real restless. But I want to make sure that you guys know that I came here prepared to talk about 3 sets of topics. And as I was preparing to talk about those 3 topics, breaking news came forward. And we all know, let me just take away all these color swatches. Like, why the fuck do I have color swatches? The shit that I do to make people comfortable with their Blackness. It's wild. As I was preparing to do this live, I got word that Kandi Burruss and Todd have split after 11 years of marriage. And I was very saddened to hear this news because as a Taurus woman who often ends up unintentionally dating men who in some way are being compared to my power and often buckle under the comparison. I know what it's like when you love somebody and you're not a clout chaser, you're not a gold digger because you got your own gold, to be perfectly fucking honest, and you just love to love. Like, I used to have no issue dating a broke man because if I liked him, right? I know the pain of when people try to make money a factor in your relationship when you don't see it as one. And so when Kandi was getting so much pushback from her mother and her family on dating Todd, who was being seen as a regular person, even though he worked in production and was adjacent or a part of the industry, I always felt a little bit protective energetically around Kandi because I know what it's like when you want to make sure that your man does not feel small. Also, a Taurus who keeps on dating Leos and has been engaged to a Leo, and Todd is a Leo, right? So I also know what it's like when you pop in, but your man is a little bit of a baddie. And so now you got to make sure that y'all both can be popping together because he's a little sensitive. So for many reasons, many fucking reasons, every year that Todd and Kandi were together, I'd be like, is it possible that bitches like us can be with men like that and it still work? And so I'm very sad. I'm sad that they couldn't make it work, but I'm happy for them if this is what's best for them. And let's just read what People Magazine has to say real quick, because this is breaking news. This is the one thing I didn't get to vet, so I'm going to be reading it along with you, okay? It says here, Real Housewives of Atlanta alum Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker. I called him Todd Rucker earlier. I'm sorry, Todd. I'm bad with names. Todd Tucker split after 11 years of marriage, and it was a difficult and emotional time, okay? The Real Housewives of Atlanta star and her producer husband have been married since April 2014. Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker are going their separate ways after 11 years. And here's the statement. After deep thought and a lot of prayer, I've made the decision to move forward with a divorce. This is a difficult and emotional time, but my focus remains on protecting my peace, being the best mother I can be, and co-parenting with love and respect, Burruss tells People in an exclusive statement. I'm stepping into a new chapter pouring into my work, my family, and my own growth. I'm grateful to everyone who supported us throughout the years, and I ask for privacy, grace, and understanding as we navigate this transition with our family. Y'all, this is going to sound real silly, hands down, the song of the summer, aside from Nothing Beats a Jet 2 Holiday, is this is a scheme that Todd set up. This is a scheme that Todd set up, quote, has been the mantra of the entire fucking summer of 2025. And my brain was like, oh man, did we tease that man so much he couldn't take it and he snapped? Y'all gonna be like, Blue, that's silly. Have you never met a Leo man who is working through some stuff? It don't take much to set them off. If y'all been clowning my man for 3 or 4 months straight about how my family thinks that he's inadequate and can't be a provider who can match me or equal my yoke, you know how they always say equally yoked, then I wouldn't be surprised. This is just me joking around a little bit, but a part of me thinks it's my truth. I wouldn't be surprised if Todd's been acting like he's on his period all summer because he doesn't like y'all making fun of him. Y'all would be surprised how people who are working through some sensitivities and whose confidence is not at full mast can very easily be chipped away when social media drags them. And here's the thing that's wild. If the other partner doesn't believe anything social media is saying, it's like, baby, fuck them, I love you. It doesn't matter. If your partner is committed to letting outside forces impact their self-esteem around your relationship, it doesn't matter how affirming, how loving you are, they will self-sabotage. Ask me how I know. Candy Burris has been making history for a couple of years now. Candy is making money on top of money on top of money. And every time she does something, she makes it a point to put his name on it. So they're doing it as a team, but she's the only one who gets the headlines. Mind you, she's getting a headline to produce stuff, but she met him when he was a producer. So she's on her 3rd or 4th career running circles at the apex of the one career he had when he met her. This is not an assault on Todd or his masculinity. This is to say thank you for Empress for saying this, to explain how if your ducks are not in a row, it is easy to crack under pressure. I cannot tell you how many people I love deeply and would love to build with emotionally, romantically, platonically, even familially, who I know I can't because they don't like the disparity between how I'm perceived and how they're perceived. And the gag is, regardless of how powerful or loud or whatever impactful the perception is around my energetic thumbprint, I could give a shit. I want to have an impact to make the world a better place, but I don't lose sleep when y'all don't like me. I posted this on Threads the other day. I think the reason why I'm perfect for the internet is because I low-key don't give a fuck about it. There's an apathy that I have towards the internet that makes me perfect for it. Like when y'all give me a compliment, I'm like, oh, that's sweet. If y'all cuss me out, okay, let's box. It is what it is. Either way, I'm kind of Gucci. You might have noticed last night when I was stuck on that long-ass flight cross country. You always know I'm stuck on a flight or in a long Uber ride if I start responding to everybody on Threads. I'm not responding because you bother me. I'm responding because I'm bored. I'm stuck on this plane and I can't get no work done. So yesterday I was on Threads responding to every fucking body, right? Everybody who was telling me, you don't understand what's happening in Nigeria. Okay, sure. I was responding to all of them. And one could say, Blue, you're pulling a card. You're so bothered. Child, I was in Delta One eating a warm cookie. I could really give a shit. It was just something to do. I was in between telling people they had me fucked up on Threads. I was playing fucking Tetris on my phone, right? That sort of apathy is why I think I am very well built for the internet. But if you're someone who, the minute the internet claps for you, you're like, oh my God, me? You love me? I'm amazing? Child, what's going to happen when they say the opposite? Oh, by the way, the warm cookies, I'm going to stop telling the lady stop giving me the warm cookie because I've decided starting today, now that I'm back home, that I got to get a little snatched again because it's cuffing season. And I just, I want to get into fighting shape, not for vanity. Like, I don't need to be in fighting shape because I'm trying to get a beach body or lose a shit ton of weight and look different. Y'all already know that my problem is I'm a little too comfortable in my fucking body. I do feel like a lot of weight loss endeavors have to come with discomfort and a bitch stay comfortable. So that's tricky for me. But for me, I want to get in shape for 2 reasons. Number one, every time I visit my mother, who is getting dialysis because of conditions that came from not taking care of herself health-wise, not weight-wise, because health and weight are not always synonymous, right? There are people who are skinny and still have heart attacks. But when I see the ways that my mother's poor habits at the age I am now led to her having to have dialysis, I'm like, bitch, this is the age where you need to start biohacking and drinking more electrolytes and getting your water in and, doing all the things so that you can feel as young on the inside as you people say you look on the outside. You know what I mean? So for me, it's not because I think I'm not cute. I already know I'm cute. Big, little, medium. I know I'm a cute bitch. It's because I want to live to be 100 so I can laugh on y'all's faces until my teeth fall out. I'm not going to hold you. I want to be here for a very long time, okay? I would like to see it. So the first thing is my vanity around mortality. The second thing is too, though, I also want to start hunching in the way that I like, and that takes some upper body and lower body strength. So it's for sex and longevity. My mortality and my nasty ways are the only reason why this is a thing for me right now. I'm not even gonna hold you. There's some moves that I like to do that I can't currently pull off because my knees hurt a little bit. I know that is not the politically correct answer, y'all. I'm very aware. Shout out to everybody who's in the members, because the members know I talk my shit in the members area in a way that I'm making myself not talk in the public area. By the way, our goal to hit 1,000 members by Christmas, we are at 786. Oh gosh, should I do an infomercial? Should I be playing In the Eyes of a Sparrow? Please, guys. I know thousands of you, tens of thousands of you come back every week. If 214, let's do 215 in case somebody unfollows. If 215 of y'all could just see it in your heart, please, sir. I want to make it to 1,000 so bad by Christmas. Y'all don't even understand. Yes, I want to get in fighting shape for strength and flexibility. And Bridget knows my heart so well because she sent me a video of a thick-bodied bitch like kickboxing. She was thick, okay? She was thick as cold oatmeal, but she was in some cute little shorts kickboxing and whipping this man's ass. And I was like, ooh, you know my heart, bitch. I want to be like a thick snack superhero. You know what I'm saying? Just bow, like taking out the assailants with my heavy titties. I'm sorry, let me stop. So thank you, Florence. We are hitting 100K. So this is all to say, let me get back because my ADHD just took me away for a second. I know what it's like to be a powerful woman who sees her man as a powerful man, but if he does not agree, it's easy for outside influences to chip away at his ability to keep you and your relationship safe. I know that pain very intimately. It's probably the pain I know the most intimately. And so, again, Candy, if you, for some strange reason, see this, I get it. I get it. Whatever you did to keep your marriage alive, it's probably something that I've done to keep my little relationships alive. And every abundant Black woman, every abundant brown woman, and as you get closer to white, this disappears more and more, right? Because proximity to whiteness makes this less potent, not because I'm being a racist, because y'all love to call Black people racist, but because I know how to read statistics. The Blacker you are, the closer you are to Black, the harder it is for a man to see your power as not being a threat to his own, because Blackness is considered masculine. And so a powerful Black woman, she's already having to beat the allegations that she's not feminine. Even if she's dipped head to toe in pink, with her titties pushed up under her neck and bright red lipstick, somebody's going to call her masculine just because she's Black and powerful, right? So I very much understand, and I really, 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 really hope that Candy and Todd did their best and are going to handle this in a way that is in respect of the love that I sincerely believe that they both tried to build. Somebody said they do Pilates, child. Pilates, I did Pilates one time and it felt like that I was dying in the depths of Hades. I'm not sure about Pilates. That might not be my ministry. Give me a second to figure that out. Anyways, guys, so that was the breaking news that interrupted us. Now, let's get to the actual scheduled program, right? The shit that I had planned before my makeup artist and I got into a whole color wheel and Todd and Candy broke our little hearts, right? Somebody said, I like Todd little ass. I did too. My thing is, if a man is good to you and he seems like he can hold space with a powerful woman and not feel threatened, it actually makes him more attractive. So over the years, Todd, as little as he is, my daddy was little, so I'm not talking shit. My daddy was a little Leo man, so trust me, he's in my wheelhouse of understanding. I really found him more attractive as the time went on because of how I assumed their relationship was playing out. I know she probably turned him out a little bit, and I probably added a couple extra years because Taurus woman. How you doing? But yeah, it's sad when relationships end unless it's for the best. So I don't want to say I'm sad for them. I'm sad for me because of what they're representing to me. I'm being selfish here. Someone said, I love this hair. Oh, thank you, child. It's all tasseled. It's giving. I was in a Ferrari with the windows down, child. I didn't even, I'm gonna be honest, I'm acting like a white woman. I didn't even comb it. I just kind of shook my head and hoped for the best before I turned the camera on. Now let's talk about, speaking of men with allegedly fragile egos. You like that segue? You like that? By the way, guys, I love Friday Night Live, and I interrupted my intro. For anybody who wants to sign up for our workshops, the last workshop that I will be throwing until September of 2026, guys. This is the last workshop that I will be throwing. My emotional intelligence workshop. Somebody asked me on a call, what does EQ mean? EQ means emotional intelligence. I know emotional intelligence is EI, but EQ is a fun play on IQ. It's your emotional IQ, right? My EQ bootcamp, which is 8 weeks, we're 15 years into doing it. I have a 75% return rate. Most of my clients, after they take the class, either return and or come back with a friend or family member or their spouse or their children. The fact that so many people gift this class to their mothers. I've had childhood friends who've had their 70-something-year-old mothers who've known me since I was 10 years old take the class. I've had people in other countries and different continents wake up at 2 a.m. to take the class. This class is probably going to be a huge part of my legacy, even though it's the thing I talk about the least on the internet. We have like 15 spots left until September of 2026. If you don't take the January class, y'all not going to hear shit from me about having another class until September. It's going to be this time next year before I open up for another class, right? Yes, it is your emotional quotient. It's your EQ. So if you want to sign for the class, it's in the bottom. It says winter26.eventbrite.com. And one of the things that we talk about in class is navigating between healthy relationships, unhealthy relationships, and abusive relationships, because all three are very different. And I teach my students how to distinguish one from the other, because those nuances make all the fucking difference. And once you know those nuances, you can never unsee them, right? One of my proudest moments is at the end of week 8 of class. People are like, Blue, my notebook is this thick with notes. You end up creating your own emotional intelligence Bible. And one of the people who makes my educator antenna ping, 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 stranger danger, stranger danger, stranger danger, is the topic of our first conversation today. And that is none other than Burner Boy. For those of you who know that I might have dated 4 Nigerian men back to back in the last 2 years, shut the hell up. That has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. Okay. All right. I know that the Niger boys like me a lot. This one of my playing on my phone right now, guys. I would like to tell you that after Icky, I left Nigerian men alone. My first problem is they think I'm Nigerian too. That's the first problem. Okay? Because the first date is me just explaining that I'm not Igbo. So there's that. In fact, did I take a screenshot? There's a young lady who responded to, because I feel like y'all keep on acting like I got a Nigerian man fetish, and it's not. It's just they tall and chocolate and sexy and I like all of that, and they think I'm one of them. Okay, so this is not a fetish, it's just opportunism, right? But there was one young lady who was responding to my Nigeria post, and because I was getting so much flack from my Nigeria post, I was preparing. Let me do a screenshot because I can't find the old screenshot, so I'm just flipping a new one. I was preparing during my Nigeria post for there to be Nigerians who were very evolved and non-tribal and very unbiased about what's happening in their country, who would say, Blue, thank you for shaming the devil. And then I also expected there to be a lot of Nigerians who were going to be cussing me out because Facebook told their auntie that I was wrong, right? In the midst of this, what I did not expect was there were several Nigerians who didn't have a problem with what I said, but were instead like, Blue, what you mean you're not Nigerian? Did not expect that to be one of the comments for my Nicki Minaj video. And one of my homegirls, hold on, let me take a screen grab so y'all can see this. And mind you, shout out to the Nigerian community, because I feel like I've taken a lot of bullets on y'all's behalf this week. I don't know if y'all give fruit baskets to allies, but I like strawberries. Thank you. But I was reading the comments, and this one girl, And it's Dr. Somebody, and I want to make sure I quote her correctly. I hate paraphrasing, guys. So when you see me pulling up images, I mean, y'all do. I do love like a receipt, but it's also because I never want to like misquote people because I get really nervous about misquoting people because I hate being misquoted. All right, so she wrote in my comments. She said, "Whole time I thought Bluecentric was Nigerian." And so I ride bike. It's okay, love. I get that a lot. That's probably why I have so many Nigerian friends. And then somebody else, I cut off the part. My friend at the bottom, and her name is Njadeka. And I'm so proud that I can pronounce her name because Njadeka is not an easy name to pronounce. Okay. It's like in Jamaica, but it's Njadeka. And Njadeka announced at the bottom, she was like, Blue, I told you, I thought I told you we named you Chioma. Y'all, I forgot that they gave me a name. My Nigerian name is Chioma. Can somebody tell me what Chioma means? I know I could Google it, but I've been doing enough today. Can somebody tell me what Chioma means? Because apparently that's my Nigerian name, so shout out to them. So I'm in the middle of having this conversation like, yeah, I'm not Nigerian. Y'all just think I am. I'm going to take the test and see if maybe Ancestry is about to tell me some tea. And I think this exchange is what suddenly flooded, because you know the algorithm. The minute you talk about anything, the algorithm goes crazy. Suddenly after, somebody said, let me call you back. You go look it up for me? Thank you. After I had this exchange, my entire timeline became infused with Burna Boy. Infused with Burna Boy. This is one thing you have to be careful, guys. Anything you talk about on the algorithm, something as small as this, completely shoved me into Burna Boy version of TikTok and Instagram. And somebody said you're 51% Nigerian. That's excellent. And so I said, now what Burna Boy? What he do now? Because y'all already know I did a video on Bernie Boy. I should call him that. On Burna Boy over the summer about how I think he's the embodiment of a very proud and emotional, immature male baddie. And so I was like, what did he do now? Apparently, Burna Boy, for those who've already heard this, you already know where this is going. Burna Boy had a concert. And you know, baddies can be sensitive. Okay. Baddies need all eyes on them because they're the bad bitch in the room. Right. Somebody did a whole video that I saw on YouTube the other day that I'm thinking about covering in our members only conversation sometime this month about how club culture, party culture has been ruined because back in the day when it was fun in the early 2000s, when we were all wearing office gear and wearing vests and belts in the wrong places and scarves and boots and shit, dressed like Robin Hood, or we're going to the office or a combination of both. Women were highlighted as the lure. And so women would get in the free, men would pay to see beautiful women, women would be on stage dancing and bringing attention. Now when you go to Atlanta, what's his name? One of those rappers, I forgot his name, starts with an M. He's the one who does the Like That with Kendrick. Who's the guy who did Like That with Kendrick? Y'all know I'm like Shirley Ralph from Abbott Elementary. Who's the man who did Like That with Kendrick? Let me look it up. Like That, Kendrick. Metro Boomin. Metro Boomin was in Atlanta recently, and he had to end. Thank you, guys. He had to end a show because instead of having a bunch of beautiful women on stage dancing and hyping up the crowd, a bunch of baddies, a bunch of male baddies in Atlanta bum rushed the stage, wouldn't let no girls get on because they were the girls. All the groupies on stage were grown-ass men. And here's the thing about male baddies. They want to stand in the spaces that are traditionally for women and femmes, but they don't actually want to like have fun. So they want to be hyper masculine while still being a bad bitch. So it'd be one thing if the men were on stage doing like a male, like those dances they be having in Samoans when the Samoans be doing the haka dance. It'd be sexy if the men were on stage doing like a brother dance. You know what I mean? When I see them frat boys doing the little shimmy, I get a little lady boner. I like that shit. I like synchronized male dancing. No, they were on stage like bad bitches who didn't want to dance. He had to call off the entire show because a bunch of male baddies would not get off the fucking stage. I say that to say that is Burna Boy's tribe. So Burna Boy, being the baddie that he is doing a show recently. And I'm not going to play the video because I'm about to talk about him and watch me get a strike. And he notices a woman taking a nap in his purview in the audience. And rather than be like, yo, it's the apocalypse, the world is burning, kudos to her for taking this expensive, luxurious ass nap. He instead stops the show to announce on the mic that she's sleeping and has security kick her and her man out. You got on the mic to kick somebody out of a venue for a performance that you were late to? If you show up 1 or 2 hours late for a performance and it's nighttime, and then again, we're in the fucking apocalypse, and I worked all day to a double shift to avoid tickets. Mind you, if I'm close enough for you to see me, these tickets are expensive. If these tickets are expensive, did you forget that we are in a recession? I probably worked really hard for them fucking tickets, Border Boy, and you're late. You were late. If I thought that I had enough energy to stay up till 11 and you don't start till 10:45, you might catch me taking a nap. So let's watch the backlash to Burna Boy being just a baddie having a tantrum. And let's also watch how whatever little bit of attractive you might still have thought he was completely disappeared when he responded to the backlash like the little boy I fear he is on the inside.
Play Diva by Beyonce because the Afrofusion superstar Burna Boy forced a fan to leave his concert because they accidentally fell asleep. Well, excuse her for trying to have a work-life balance.
Nasty.
The couple reportedly was sitting front row at his show in Colorado. When Burna Boy caught a glimpse of a woman sleeping, he stopped his performance and then told the crowd that he wouldn't be doing any more songs until the couple left, urging the unidentified man to take his lady home. The crowd didn't make it any better by booing at the couple and screaming at them to leave. Most people agreed that it was unnecessary of him to throw them out. However, why would you go to his concert and sit in the front row just to fall asleep?
Now, everybody was asking this question, right? The people who love Burna Boy were like, well, why would you go to a Burna Boy concert and not want to take advantage of it? It's a big deal to be there. Well, y'all, I hope y'all don't feel like shit when you find out the reason, because the reason is actually incredibly sad.
So the lady that Burna Boy chased out of his concert because she was sleeping came out to say that she's been battling depression ever since the father of her daughter passed away. And this is one of the things that people
She's battling depression because of a death. Somebody close to her passed away, and she's battling depression. You guys, what's the first thing that happens when you get depressed? You're sleepy and tired and lethargic, right? Raise your hand if you take lots of naps when you're sad. Raise your hand if you sleep all the time when you're sad. So you are battling depression, and you wake up to Burna Boy on a microphone shaming you and telling security to kick you out.
were saying, what if she had a long work day? What if she was tired? What if she wasn't feeling the best? He didn't even care to make any inquiry or be like, what's going on with you? Like, what's going on over there? It's more about his pride and his ego.
Yep.
So the lady by the name of Chaltu says, I am the girl that was kicked out of the show last night. I don't even know where to begin, but that was very embarrassing and humiliating to myself and my boyfriend. Burna Boy could have handled that situation better than that. He had no idea what was going on with me, and he didn't even care to ask if I was okay. I have been mentally, physically, and emotionally drained since my daughter's dad passed away, and I came to his show to put a smile on my face after everything that has happened. He took forever to come out, and I was tired. We paid to be there, and if I wanted to close my eyes and sleep, I can do that. It's my money that I wasted, not his. And for all of you in the comment section being nasty, how about showing kindness? Because you never know what someone else is going through.
That part. So I'm thinking to myself, there's no way in hell that Burna Boy found out that he put out a grieving woman because of a small, silly tantrum and didn't just simply apologize. There's no way. There's no way. He's a grown-ass man, allegedly. There's no way that he didn't just apologize, right? Somebody said here, oh, this is the statement that I actually said this to somebody. He lost so much aura. When I tell you any bit of attraction, because you know Burna Boy is in the archetype of the kind of nigga I like, it all disappeared. That man is ugly to me now, respectfully. And somebody could be like, well, you ugly to him. That's fine. Look at us agreeing. We aligned. Okay, we're aligned.
So as someone who has been to not one, not two, but 3 Burna Boy concerts during the years, I'm going to put my 2 cents in, okay? Burna Boy was wrong. Burna Boy was wrong. It's not like that lady won a contest or something and she is watching the show for free. And, you know, obviously that would have been like, okay.
Oh, and the crowd turned on her. So imagine you're grieving death and the crowd is heckling you as the star on the stage. It's nasty work, y'all. Y'all know how I feel about nasty work. That shit is nasty to me. So you're literally watching a crowd bully the woman that she's.
Okay, somebody else could have been enjoying the show, but no, she paid her money to be there. And you were late to come out in the first place, and the lady dozed off, and you're gonna tell her to leave? Like, okay, we could have made a joke about it. You know what I mean? Ha ha ha. She's up now. Let's get the party started. But no, you actually got security to get her to leave. That is beyond embarrassing. And I think what you need to do before you get cancelled, Oluwabona, Oluwabona, Oluwabona. How many times did I call you? Listen to me. Get your PR people to reach out to that lady. I don't know what your next show is, but fly her out there, her and her boyfriend.
Amen.
Get her VIP seats, okay?
Someone in the comments said it right. The authority of a king with the accountability of a toddler.
Did y'all hear that? I love this line. Burna Boy has the authority of a king and the accountability of a toddler. Now she just described every man I've dated over the last 5 years. That's awkward. This is special kind of fatigue that comes from dating a prideful man who's actually talented, but who has the coping skills of a 3-year-old. Because you're constantly having to affirm him and stroke him to feed his pride while also having to babysit him like a child. It is an exhaustion I plan to never feel again. I would rather buy a rose and some Postmates and work it out myself than to ever again deal with the man who moves like this.
This man put out an apology in which he states, if I was wrong. That's not an apology. That is not an apology.
Not King Baby. He's a King Baby, yes.
If your apology contains the words if, then you're not taking accountability for anything. You're still blaming the other person for what happened. He had the nerve to compare what happened to him to what happens when a passenger is unruly on a plane.
Y'all, his apology was so satirical. I said this could be an interpretive dance. And so what did I do? Because I always feel like we're drinking out of the gourd from the well of consciousness. I was like, if I think Burna Boy's apology is satirical, did anybody do an interpretation? And I found one. So for those of you who don't want to read that long fucking black and white tantrum he wrote, don't worry. I found somebody who's going to do an interpretive dance version of what he said, okay? Because ADHD is still real over here.
If the pilot feels uncomfortable with how one of the passengers is acting, they're gonna get kicked off. This is not the same situation, my dude.
It's not.
This is where your job as an entertainer is to entertain the people who came to see you, people who paid to see you. Sir, you were not doing your job, so therefore someone did what? Fell asleep. Now, I don't know if that's the real reason why this man fell asleep, but you contributed to it. A lot of people in the comments were also saying like this man needs to humble himself because without his fans he broke. Another person said was like, this is why we have PR teams, because this apology was not a good look.
By the way, that Vogue having a boyfriend is embarrassing. I actually agree. I don't want a boyfriend. I want a partner who might be a husband if he's politically into that. But a boyfriend, how be someone be like, I want a boyfriend. I feel like when you say you want a boyfriend, the boy part be in cap locks. I want a man friend, okay?
I knew this would happen. It was only a matter of time.
Oh, guys, this is the interpretation of his apology, and she's not making this up. This is actually verbatim what he said. I'm going to hit rewind a little bit. This is almost verbatim what he said.
I knew this would happen. It was only a matter of time before the prophecy was fulfilled. But it don't even matter because my skin, bulletproof. Y'all mad at me, but do you get mad at that pilot when you board that plane and you do something they don't like and they kick you off? Ain't nobody said nothing about the pilot. What about at school? You make the teacher uncomfortable? Kicked out. People with cancer come to my shows and they don't even fall asleep. Do you have cancer?
Y'all, he really said something like that. He really said, if somebody with cancer can stay awake, what's your... He said, I'll take your dead baby daddy and raise you a cancer patient. What? Burna, are you okay? Boy, are you okay? Let me tell you, somebody said throwing tomatoes. I do have a throwing tomato gif I need to start using in here. The way my vaginal juices like suction cupped back into my body and became dry as the Sahara Desert when he said, I said, now, sir, this might be the most, I've read some audacious, unattractive shit from your ilk of nigga, but that might be a new level of pathetic. If a cancer patient, okay. So not only are you mean, you're a little bit stupid. Let me continue.
Give my soul to this mess, man. But if y'all gonna treat me like a $2 hoe, then I'll give it up quickly. Cause I ain't never been no hoe. Not even for $100, bro. I'm not going for it.
For those who think that we were kidding, here are the actual screen grabs. Okay. Yes, my lady parts and everything that makes them happy went back into my body after reading what Burna Boy wrote. And let's read what he wrote in his own words. He says, by the way, I was joking around with my band about something else, not necessarily the situation, and y'all have spun it as a usual Burna Boy doesn't love his fans. If you hate me so much, either kill me or leave me alone. What? Are those the only options? So there's no fuck accountability. Burna Boy is saying, fuck accountability. You're either going to have to kill me or be a sheep. Got it. I'm fighting my own battles. Oh, your battles matter now, right? Okay. I'm fighting my own battles, and I never come out here to look for pity or help. I love who loves me and respect who respects me. Free Sudan, free Congo, free Nigeria. Not Burna. Really? Then he said, when he realized that that first one didn't go well, I sincerely apologize if I'm wrong. And if I had wings, I'd be a bird. If I knew how to bark, I'd be a dog. What do you mean if? I sincerely apologize if I'm wrong. I'm not always right, but I feel right about this. Wait. I sincerely apologize if I'm wrong. I'm not always right, including right now. I'm still right though. Anyway, I'm just human, so fuck me. What? You know when little boys be like, well, if I can't get nothing right, I just won't try at all. This is trash behavior. Oh, somebody actually put in a trash can. That's so funny. This is trash behavior, right? He sounds like a man-child, an actual man-child. Then he posts, they never post any of the good I do. Oh, God, now it's a conspiracy. You put somebody out in a room full of hecklers, but it's a conspiracy against you. They never post any of the good I do in this world, but they go wild and viral when they feel I finally fucked up. I finally fucked up. Bernie, you've been fucking up left and right for years. What are you talking about finally? CC Peniston ain't got nothing to do. This is not finally it happened to me. It happens to you quite often, my friend. I've seen people who never even acknowledged my existence before now posting this is not cool. Yes, they never acknowledged your existence because they were apathetic, and the apathy turned to disgust because you did something mean and nasty and unnecessary. I be feeling like some of y'all are allergic to logic. Okay. He's a little stupid. He's a little dumb. I feel like I've been realizing how dumb people are.
I think we can all touch and agree. Dominique. Very embarrassing. And I've been saying this for years.
Yes, that was textbook Darvo, guys, and I love those of you in here who've been taking our free game and know what Darvo is. If those who don't know what Darvo is, it's an emotional manipulation tactic I talk about extensively on this page. It stands for deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. It's when someone does something wrong, but they find a way to attack people and pretend they're the victim instead. Basically, Darvo means you're a Karen. And unfortunately, a lot of Black people have become Karens, which is awkward.
Here's like, if you're a member of the burn unit, you're like damn near constantly getting burned by this nigga. Like, fuck.
Wait, did she just call Burna Boy fans the burn unit? Okay.
I mean, if you had to be around during his Jamaican era, what the fuck was that?
Well, I miss Burna Boy's Jamaican era. Did he think him having locks meant he could have cosplayed Jamaican? Because somebody tag me on some videos of Burna Boy in his Jamaican era. I would like to see it. Did he have a Jamaican era for real?
Like, he's not stable, and he's not like, I be begging him to shut up sometime. Like, please, just what the white people tell LeBron, shut up and dribble?
Yeah.
Just shut up and sing. And even when you're singing, you do it's so bad. Like, there's really nothing you can say.
Afro dance hall? He did Afro dance hall. Oh. Look at y'all teaching me shit. He did Afro dance hall? I mean, somebody said him and Drake are besties. I mean, two bad bitches looking at each other saying exactly, right? Burna Boy and Drake are two baddies looking at each other saying, I know, right? Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
Defense of him. It's at the point where it's just funny. Like, you just have to know. Like, now it's like, oh, if you're a fan of Burna Boy, you might be like, he might say something crazy right now. Now there's like new rules. Like, don't piss him off at the concert. And you could piss him off at the concert by simply just being within his peripherals.
If falling asleep during his concert is enough for you to get canceled, what's next? If my wig was on crooked, would he put me out and have me heckled? Like, where's the line? Because one thing I've noticed is men who are baddies are always concerned with things that are not their business. They're concerned about how you do your hair all the time, how long your nails are, what color your nails are, what color your toes are. I'm like, nigga, do you want to get your toes done? What's happening? They be real concerned about the beauty routine. So I would not be surprised if Burna Boy saw this video and made a new, you can't put on a red wig rule because of me, right? It's real peculiar baddie behavior. So as I'm going down the rabbit hole of realizing just how much Burna Boy and Sexy Red have in common, I then see a new name pop up on my feed that I don't recognize called Eddie Hennessy. And so I said to myself, who the fuck is Eddie Hennessy? Do y'all know who Eddie Hennessy is? Because what? I found out about Eddie Hennessy while I was traveling, and I was like, oh, we absolutely have to talk about this on the live for Friday Night Live, because what do you mean Eddie Hennessy? For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Eddie Hennessy is the name of, let's just play the video, child.
Eddie Hennessy and Pam Oliver are two of the alleged aliases that prosecutors claim that Wendy and Eddie Osefo used in, quote, a deliberate attempt to mask their identity.
Y'all know, I came on here and said, Wendy, I almost don't even care if you did it, girl. Just get out of this because I love you and we've seen worse. But there's a certain level of stupid where I have to divest. What you mean Happy Eddie has an alias of Eddie Hennessy for when he is allegedly committing fraud? Pam Oliver, is that not like a porn star? That's giving like your OnlyFans. Pam Oliver. Wendy. I want to defend you so bad, Wendy, but you're making it tricky, babe. First of all, anything with Hennessy, Pam Oliver sound like you like to do scams. Eddie Hennessy means you're sloppy. See, did he pass the bar, or do him and Kim Kardashian have something in common? Kim Kardashian, do they have something in common? Did Eddie really pass the bar? Because Eddie Hennessy, somebody said Eddie Hennessy is crazy. Eddie Hennessy is crazy. That's the name you come up with when you're doing role play at a hotel with your wife and you want to pretend that you're a rich billionaire trying to take her up to your room. That is not what you do to create a federal crime. Eddie Hennessy is not the name that you use when you're about to commit federal crimes. But let's continue to watch, because when I finally found out who Eddie Hennessy was, I said, now this is a strange time. We are in strange days.
Prosecutors claim that Wendy and Eddie allegedly had approximately 40 credit and or debit cards, some of which are believed to be in company names, and have in other instances used aliases. The Osefos were indicted last month on insurance fraud charges and have been accused of staging a burglary at their home. And now the Baltimore Banner...
You can disagree with what Wendy did without the bitter barbs by her education. Who made bitter barbs by her education? What was that? I'm curious. I know it wasn't me. So who made bitter barbs by her education? Y'all know I like a little bit of mess. Who did bitter barbs by her education? Am I missing something? Is this tea that I'm going to see when I look at the chat later? Let's put the chat on the screen. Because, respectfully, if your husband's calling himself Eddie Hennessy and you're calling yourself Pam Oliver, I'm going to call you dumb. I did not call anybody stupid on my page up until this year. This year, when y'all let Trump get inaugurated, I said I need to start using the word stupid and dumb more. because it's time that we start calling things by their name. I do think this is very stupid and very dumb. If what allegedly happened actually happened, I'm just saying.
Is reporting that prosecutors want to subpoena new banking records to show the amount of debt that was owed by the couple and to show
if anybody's being xenophobic, you might want to stop before I catch you or Florence sees you or Gia sees you when you get put out. We don't do xenophobia here. I'm Pan-African. If you black, you black, and I love you. I don't do the whole where they drop you off means I don't care about you no more. I don't do that here. Just respectfully.
Pattern of excessive spending that would support motive in the case. But defense attorneys for the Osefos say that this is just a fishing expedition and they want that subpoena denied. According to the Baltimore Banner, the judge in the case will take up the dispute over the subpoenas at a status hearing on December 2nd. Both Wendy and Eddie were at BravoCon in Las Vegas this past weekend. Wendy was...
Let me tell you something about BravoCon. So when I was doing Carlos King's show with him and Dustin, usually it's him, Dustin, and Claudia Jordan. Claudia Jordan couldn't be with us the last 2 weeks because she was at BravoCon. So I was like, oh, Claudia's at BravoCon. That's so dope. Let me keep an eye on it. Just see what she's doing over there. The amount of shit that has happened since everybody left BravoCon is wild. Was there a jinx at the Las Vegas airport? This entire segment that we're on is all people whose lives got turned, flipped upside down right after they left BravoCon. Wendy leaves BravoCon and suddenly she's Pam Oliver and Happy Eddie is sipping on Hennessy. This is exhibit A. There's 2 more Bravo. Let me just play the video, child. BravoCon might have been James.
Asked about the charges, she said she couldn't speak on it. It's an ongoing investigation, but she did thank her supporters.
Lying to you. Amex act like I was trying to steal the bank personally when I sent a request to have them up my limit from 5,000 to 10,000. How is it that they can make up 40 different names and get credit cards?
It's a great question. It'd be so hard for me to get approved for credit cards. How the fuck did they get 40? I'm a little jealous. How do you get 40 credit cards approved? Fuck scamming 40 credit cards. How do you even acquire 40 credit cards? Somebody said, would this be a scheme that, see, that's why they end up breaking up. Y'all ain't shit. Todd is sick of y'all. Y'all happy with yourselves? Candy just announced her divorce and y'all still making this joke. We are never beating the allegations. We're never beating the allegations that we're unserious people.
I want to go on record saying this Wendy and Eddie Osefo scheme is so poorly executed that I really do feel like everybody else around them does this too. This gives, girl, all you gotta do, just put a name on there, because what the fuck is an Eddie Hennessy? Don't even work in a fraud department, and I would flag that for fraud.
Calling yourself Mr. and Mrs. Eddie Hennessy is the reason why the feds own your now. After the story had...
Y'all, what's that saying that old black prophet once said? I'm gonna be fresh as hell if the feds are watching. Who said that? I'm gonna be fresh as hell if the feds are watching. Yes, Old English. I feel like Wendy has been looking extra fly lately. Girl, I understand why you have to put on a stiff upper lip. And I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes when I watch a movie, I root for the villain. Can some of us raise our hands? Do you ever be watching a movie and the do-gooder cop is like really fucking annoying and self-righteous and you're kind of hoping that the criminal who's much more fun and sexy gets away with it? Is it just me? Is this my Gemini rising showing? Yes, the great prophet 2 chains, 4 bracelets. Yes, 2 chains. So as somebody who likes intelligence over virtue signaling, sometimes I root for the villain. And I told y'all I'm not a perfect person. Killmonger, oh, he's sexy too, child, yes. Killmonger's a perfect example. If I watch X-Men, I may or may not understand why Magneto did what he did. So I low-key want them to get away with this. I know it's toxic, okay? Consider this my toxic cheat meal. I'm rooting for Wendy to have an O.J. Simpson, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit moment. And then we could, Thanos, thank you. Some of us out here rooting for Thanos. I low-key want her to slither her way out of it. The more complicated this gets, the more impressed I'm going to be if she pulls a Nigerian Houdini and somehow says, like Carly read, it was a lie. And she put a little paper. It was all a lie, right? I would love if she could get out of this. I'm sorry. I'm going to go on the record and say that I'm rooting for the alleged villain in this case, because I feel like it is my journalistic duty to call out my conflict of interest and my bias. Okay? So I will be reporting this as somebody who wants Wendy to be free, even if she did it. I know I'm not the only one who'll be thinking this way. We got to start telling the truth more in 2025 and 2026 and beyond. Seriously. I'm rooting for Wendy. I think if this is all true, she might be one of the dumbest criminals to ever exist. And I'm still rooting for her. I don't know.
Broke with the Baltimore Banner that Eddie and Wendy had over 40 credit cards in different names, business names, as well as the names of Eddie Hennessy and Pam Oliver. Their defense attorney came out and stated that this was a fishing expedition.
I would like to know the other 40 names. If it's 40 cards, what are the other aliases? I kind of want to know. Anybody else curious? Or just
now,
me?
as soon as their prosecutors heard that they were labeling this a fishing expedition, that's when they released more information. They also stated that I don't know how to pronounce their last name, Ossoffs, were attempting to hide their identity, and that Wendy had falsely claimed that she had never used any of the third-party paying services, but they did find that she was using PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App to purchase her jewelry.
How do you use Cash App to purchase jewelry? Now I need to Oh, I do have a Cash App credit card that they sent me. I don't know what to do with it. I was like, why the fuck do I want a Cash App credit card? So she was using allegedly Venmo and Cash App? Ooh, Wendy. Oh, Wendy. If any of this is true, it's giving broke. It's giving living above your means. I know y'all like to tease me about the fact that I'm addicted to sitting in the front of the plane. I was talking to Kendall yesterday before I got on my flight, and I was like, Kendall, I was about to fly Comfort Plus, but I couldn't do it because you can't take a nap on Comfort Plus. And so I had to upgrade. But I will tell you this, though. Yes, I have an addiction to first class and Delta One and caviar. And yet, I don't have designer purses. My rent is probably half of what I could actually afford. I pay all my bills on time. I'm bougie, but I also live within my means. Shout out to the triple Virgo, right? So it is totally possible. Totally possible. Yeah, shout out to the Delta One Divas. We're going to be talking about Delta soon in this little live. But it's totally possible to be a luxurious bitch who likes nice things and to be able to actually afford those nice things because you're doing things that are for the experience and your quality of life, not to flex. I take Delta One flights at least twice a month. Y'all never see me post videos for me on the plane. I'm not on the plane like, look at me eating my, you know what I mean? The most you'll get is me posting a video of me having a snack in the lounge, looking at all the pretty planes, right? And that's just because I like my snacks and I like the planes, right? I don't do it for the flex. I do it because I like how it makes me feel when I work really hard and I can have a very soft landing when I'm traveling cross country. If Wendy was one of the girls, and we're going to talk about this later because this entire live is low-key about how money impacts your pro-blackness. That's the theme for this entire live, right? When we talked about what happened with Candy and Todd, the first speculation was her money and her power might have been, and the constant jokes about the disparity between her money and power versus his might have been a factor to some degree in their relationship not working because the man has been a butt of a joke for 11 years. And the biggest year of us clowning him was the 11th year, right? So that's about money and how money affects your romantic relationships. This is now about how money affects your social standing or how you see your value, right? Black capitalism, exactly. This entire life is going to be about Black capitalism. What we like about it, what we loathe about it, and the things that we can't avoid about it. If you are someone who's a little bougie, you have to admit that you have a complicated relationship with capitalism, right? Because you're critiquing it while also suckling on its teat. And I'm talking about myself when I say that, okay? I'm tagging myself on this conversation. And so I know sometimes when we talk about money, we talk about, oh, that's irresponsible. But can we all just admit that we're sitting around saying eat the rich while low-key wishing we were rich? And by all, I mean most, not all. But I just, how do I say this nicely? A lot of my most brilliant academic friends are in the 1%, the 5%, or at the very least the top 10%. If you make over $150,000 a year, you are in the 10%, right? In the top 10% of the American population as far as how much you make. If you make about $350, $400 a year, you're in the 5%. Once you hit $750, you're in the top 1%. I'm somebody in, I'm not going to say which percentage. It's less than 1. Okay, it's more than 1, but less than 10. I'll just say that because I don't want people on my finances, and the IRS might be watching, right? As somebody whose percentage is in the single digits, but I live in LA, and I have aging parents who've left me no money to take care of them. You can see how I have to make a shit ton of money that technically could put me in the top 7%, but it doesn't belong to me because of network poverty. And I think that's what's at play if any of these allegations are true. Wendy and Eddie like nice things and might be slaves to optics and getting Birkin bags and all types of stuff. And they also have aging Nigerian parents who expect them to take care of them, and beautiful children who need to be fed and who also need to look pretty and shiny for the public. They made enough money for themselves as individuals, as a couple. What they didn't make enough money for, if this is true, is for the lifestyle of the network poverty that lives within their ecosystem. Like Soul Food, I feel like we need to all watch Soul Food again. Terry was living in network poverty. She was the rich auntie, but nobody else was rich in the family, which means her $20 wasn't just her $20, right? And so it gets tricky when we're talking about Black capitalism, because our dollar doesn't just belong to us, especially statistically speaking, if you're a Black woman. Black women are the breadwinners according to the statistics in America. And so our money in particular doesn't belong to us. And so part of me, I think the reason why, even if she did it, I kind of want to throw her some bail and maybe some therapy is, yes, Wendy wanted to flex on the gram and on the show. And she also has a family depending on her to take care of them. And that's tricky.
The same jewelry she was posting and flashing at BravoCon.
Oh shit, that hasn't happened in forever. It has been, oh my God, it's been weeks since I've accidentally pushed the button that kicks me out of the live. For those who are asking what happened, when I first started doing streaming, I used to have this bad habit of pressing this random button on here. I still don't know what the button is. And the random button on here would always accidentally kick me off in the middle of a live. And it got to the point where if I had a guest, the guest would have to get into the habit of watching y'all like a baby until I came back. Somebody said Mercury retrograde. It hasn't happened in like 6 weeks. The fact that it just happened, yo, Mercury retrograde is a fucking hater. Let me put this back on the stage. Thank y'all for staying.
Hennessy.
Let me rewind. Let me find my spot. The fact that my audience already knows to just stick around when I accidentally kick myself out of the live. I am never beating the rich auntie allegations. That's what I got. All right, let's continue.
Now, prosecutors go on in their statement to state that with the additional information they were able to obtain with search warrants, they saw excessive spending and supporting their motives for their case. And it seems as though the couple was living well beyond their means, and that's okay, but you don't got to scam to do it. Which makes me start to believe that Bravo allegedly be asking these people for their financial disclosures in order to get on the show. And the couples who don't have it seem to be the ones who are always scamming. Now, of course, you know, Wendy did go to Bravo.
That was Todd. See, this is why Todd don't want to deal with y'all. The fact that y'all ain't shit.
And people were asking about the case, and here's what she had to say. According to her statement, she said it's an unfortunate situation, and right now I can't say too much. That's because you're under the law's eyes. But I will say that when the time is right, I will share my story with everyone. Your story, you mean your incarceration? And for now, they're just allegations.
You guys are correct. I think part of the reason why so many of us want Wendy to be exonerated, even if it's true, is because there's a stupidity to how this was handled that almost makes me feel like I'm protecting a baby who doesn't know any better. If she and her husband really conspired to move this dumb, I almost feel sympathy. It's so silly, I almost can't take it seriously. Also, I don't mind the feds being robbed. Although, feds, I love y'all when it comes to me. I follow the laws. Child, let me shut up. You don't know what AI is watching.
So we will continue to push forward. I hope you and Eddie Hennessy got a good lawyer, honey, because y'all gonna need it.
I don't know if you remember, but on the show,
yeah, So, guys, let's talk about this. Mia was one of the first people speaking up about the arrest when it happened, right? Mia was one of the first. It was Mia and Ashley were the first mocking it. One of the very first. And it's so wild because at the same time that Wendy was headed to the airport and news was breaking that she had 40 names and a couple of aliases, Mia was also at an airport getting arrested. The same Mia who a couple of weeks ago did this live on the heels, like within nanoseconds of Wendy being arrested, ended up getting arrested herself within the month. You want to talk about awkward?
I brought her to Lake Norman and we went to a rooftop, and the cake that I gifted her was her bag. Like, it was her blue Birkin bag done. I had a custom cake. It was like $600 because I felt so bad. I wanted to celebrate the fact that she lost her Birkin.
Mia did look pretty in her mugshot. She looks like Madam from the Muppets sometimes with her makeup, but Mia as a woman naturally is actually very attractive. That mugshot did her a lot of favors.
Bag, and it was her birthday. So I was like, well, let me give you a Birkin cake.
So listen.
What, you mean to tell me that she never lost her Birkin? Like, I need my money back.
So she's saying when Wendy said that she had been robbed and they stole her Birkin, I got her a Birkin cake to cheer her up, and I spent $600 on it. But Wendy, if you didn't actually lose your Birkin, I want my money back. Mia, the crimes that you have committed are so broke. I have a hard time believing you spent $600 on a cake. Mia, according to what the police are alleging, I don't think you could afford a $600 cake for somebody you barely like. The streets are saying, Mia, that you. Let me just play the video before I say something negative.
The law's the law. Right?
The law's the law, Mia. Mia, did you hear what you just said? The law is the law. You robbed an Airbnb allegedly of its Rent-A-Center furniture. So please remember the law is the law. At least Wendy did a a white collar crime of the rich. You did a broke bitch scheme allegedly. You did something that I would have done back in the early 2000s when I was living in the South Bronx in a 5th floor walk up. So I just want everybody to keep in perspective that the law is the law. Okay, according to the word, according to Mia and that wig. Look, I'm a girl who will slap on a wig like a hat and get on live and not even pin it down. So who am I to disparage? But I do believe that this lace front ages her in a way that her mugshot will show is not fair to how attractive she actually is. Can we all just admit that? I'm actually shooting her some bail. If you think she looks a little bit like, how do I say that? I'm not gonna say that without being problematic. If you think she looks like she could have been on Drag Race in this look, please know that you're about to see her in her natural form, and it's so much better.
I just don't feel that she would go that low. Do you know what I mean?
But you went lower. Quite literally, you went lower. I'm gonna fast forward past this because she said, I can't believe when they would go that low. And look how low Mia's willing to go.
Her doing that.
Right.
Ms. Thornton, you ready? How you doing? I'm Officer Hunt, City of Atlanta Police.
So this is her getting arrested at the airport for stealing $11,000 in furniture from a condo that she was renting out, a furnished condo that she was renting out. And I'm gonna tell you this, as somebody who ran an Airbnb for 5 years, if somebody wiped out my furniture after staying in my Airbnb, oh my God, I would lose my shit.
You know you have a warrant, correct? Okay. You know what it's for? Cool. All right, cool. So what we're going to do is I'll take you back to our precinct, finish doing my paperwork. Once that's done, you have a cell phone?
No, I said
Okay. So we'll go back to the precinct. I'll do my paperwork. Once that's done, then I'm going to...
Y'all see how pretty this woman is? Y'all see how attractive this woman is without all that stuff? And this is not me about makeup or wig shaming, as I'm sitting here in makeup and a wig. It's about her desire to cosplay as a rich white woman is making her not even see her own beauty, which makes me wonder if she's suffering from the same financial dysmorphia that Wendy and Eddie are allegedly suffering from.
Transport you to phone counter.
Moved to Atlanta and got arrested immediately. Mia, you're gonna fit right in. I know that's right. So
Mia just moved to Atlanta and already got caught scamming. Atlanta, you're never beating the allegations. Mia has lived in Atlanta for 72 minutes and has already got arrested for scamming. One could say she moved to the right place for that or the wrong place, depending on how your morals are set up. But my God, today.
apparently, Miss Mia Thornton from Real Housewives of Potomac allegedly packed up furniture in the condo she was renting like a thief in the night. She allegedly moved out all the furniture with her, furniture that did not belong to her, totaling $11,000. Mia said,
I'm leaving here with something.
Now look, if this is true, this is wild, but I need to see the contract. There had to be some type of clause, some rent to own, something that made her believe this furniture belonged to her. Y'all act like simple contractual disputes don't happen. Who here has not accidentally hired movers to put stolen furniture on a U-Haul and take said furniture across country? You know what? We'll workshop the defense later. Anyway, welcome to Atlanta, Mia.
One thing about that Bravo to prison pipeline, it's never clogged.
Bravo has so many people who have been watched by the feds on their roster. I feel like the next BravoCon should be at San Quentin. Just have it on visiting day, because what the fuck?
It's never backed up. That thing is always flowing.
More information about former Real Housewives of Potomac, Mia Thornton, has been released. According to the reports, Mia Thornton owed the landlords of the property that she allegedly stole $11,000 worth of furniture from, $5,100 that.
Y'all, hold on for a second. You are on Real Housewives of Potomac with a bunch of grand dames who are purporting to live in mini mansions, McMansions, because they are so affluent. And you're $5,000 behind on rent and at a rental condo? That scenario is a little bit too relatable for someone who claims to be. In fact, I'm going to go back and play that video that I skipped over. I actually wish I hadn't, because there's a part where Mia says, why would Wendy steal when we have so many opportunities? Let me actually play that back. Because the irony, $5,100. I didn't watch that whole video because I was running behind. But now that I'm hearing it's only $5,100, Mia, you down bad, baby.
A custom cake, it was like $600 because I felt so bad. I wanted to celebrate the fact that she lost her Birkin bag and it was her birthday. So I was like, well, let me give you a Birkin cake.
So listen.
What, you mean to tell me that she never lost her Birkin? Like, I need my money back. Oh. Law's the law. Right? I just don't feel that she would go that low. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we have so many opportunities out here to build businesses and make money and do the things and hire the people. And, I'm not going to say it's always perfect, right? We make mistakes, but that's a lot to say that she actually staged a whole burger. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's your safety. Your children are involved. You got people.
Are your children not involved with the rental condo that you robbed? All right, allegedly. Let me go back to the story, because I had to play that part back because I was like, Mia, how are you talking about how Wendy had no reason to steal $450K when allegedly you stole 11? And what were you going to do with that rent-a-center furniture? It's not like she robbed them of money. She took used furniture. Do you know how down bad you got to be to steal used furniture that comes from a rental house where other assets have sat naked? Okay. My brain is really buffering on this one.
Do all the housewives feel like they're above the law? Is there something about being a housewife that says I can just break the law and get away with it? Because our own president went to jail.
Okay, but hear me out. We're going to go get Mia. We're going to get Karen. We're going to get Wendy. And then we're going to get Ashley. We're going to put them on their own spinoff of the show. What's the name of the show? Real Housewives of Prison. Why?
Not Real Housewives of Prison. Now, hold on. Not Real. Wait, she stole the TV? Okay, stealing a TV is crackhead behavior. And I'm saying that as somebody who once had a crackhead in the South Bronx help me move some furniture. Remind me to tell that. Oh, I already told that story. Oh, I already told the crackhead helping me move story. Oh, shout out to the members. Members, we up. That live that I did with my sister when we ended up hotboxing, I talked about the crackhead who helped us move. Yeah, that is stealing a TV always makes me squint. There's something about stealing a TV that does reek of addiction.
Is Ashley on the cashew ass because it's criminal that she married that man Michael and then walked away with barely nothing in the divorce. Prison time.
Potomac, stand up. The fuck? Not Mia Horton. Here's a Who Thornton. I got businesses.
Yeah, Mia's intro into Potomac was walking us around her 10, 12, 11. It was like every apostle at the Last Supper had a business run by Mia, child. So how is it that your intro was how many businesses you had, and now you're allegedly stealing rent-a-center furniture from Airbnb? I would say how the mighty have fallen, but you've been a pathological liar since day one, so I'm not sure you fell. You might have just rolled over on the bed, child. I'm not sure Mia even had it to begin with.
What is this conspiracy on the DMV? Y'all trying to call us broke or something?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that. Get it together.
Mia Thornton's arrest is definitely not a coincidence.
Now, guys, I wanted to end on a comical note for this segment before we pivot from the housewives. There are actually Mia apologists out there. There are Mia apologists out there who believe that this actually is a scheme that Andy set up and that Bravo is trying to silence her. I'm about to tell you, everything I'm about to show you in this video, I think is bullshit. This is one of them old Facebook videos where the grandmas come up with a bizarre conspiracy theory. But I thought it was funny to share it because sometimes y'all just be saying anything on the internet. I would love us to do a whole segment where we just show the why. Somebody said Mia has fans. Honestly, Mia might have made this video. Now that you put it that way, Mia, is that you? Let's play the video that might have been made by Mia herself.
She just announced her departure from the Real Housewives of Potomac to start over in Atlanta. And then on November 19th, she was handcuffed and taken away at the airport. Felony theft? Stealing $11,000 worth of furniture? That's too far-fetched. Think about it. By 2025, the Real Housewives of Potomac had already had 3 housewives arrested Karen Huger in jail for drunk driving, the Wendy couple for insurance fraud, and now it's Mia's turn? This is clearly a cover-up by Bravo executives. Mia knows too much. The divorce battle, the mystery surrounding her child's father, family scandals. She's going to switch jobs to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The landlord called the police in the middle of the night. The police precisely intercepted her at the airport.
The fact the landlord came home in the middle of the night and found out that you had robbed them while skipping town, $5,000 behind on rent with all their furniture. This... I'm gonna skip past this video, but so we can go to the very next housewife who got arrested at the airport. Everybody was getting arrested at the airport. Mind you, imagine me. I'm on Delta One about to get off my flight as I'm watching these clips. You want to talk about a bitch ran out of there? I was like, is the fans gonna be waiting for me at gate 22? The fuck? So Mia has gotten arrested, right? And in the middle of the Mia getting arrested thing, as we're literally landing, I look at my timeline. My timeline was possessed last night, and it says Portia Williams was escorted off a plane by the FBI. Now, what the fuck? And she was coming from, stay with me, boys and girls, BravoCon. So I thought, what the fuck was happening at BravoCon? Mia getting arrested after BravoCon, Wendy being exposed for her alias after BravoCon, Portia being let off the airplane by the feds, the FBI, after BravoCon. What kind of ops were at BravoCon? Because that's, in the words of Umar, y'all don't find that suspicious. Yes, BravoCon had a sting operation in 2025. So let's watch what happened to poor Portia, because this one confused me at first until I looked at the video of Portia and the person that she was fighting with. And my first thought is, Portia got escorted off a plane by federal agents because she was in first class with a white woman. That hit too close to home. That hit too close to home. Because anybody who's ever been, and we're going to talk about this more, anybody who's ever been in a place of luxury as a Black person, and let's be honest, paying a couple $1,000s for a round trip flight domestically is a luxury, right? I'm woman enough to admit that. You know that when you're in those luxury spaces, there's always this assumption that you don't belong there or that you're only a visitor, right? Like yesterday when I was on my flight, the flight attendant was this really beautiful Latina woman. And she approached me as if I was a child who was going to fly a flight by themselves for the first time. Like, hey, love, do you need help figuring out how to work the seats? Would you like a cookie? It was very much like she thought that I was on my first big girl flight on Delta One. Granted, I was in sweats with no makeup. I might have looked childish, but I looked at her with my big adult voice and said, I do this quite often. I'm good. I know how this works. And you can see her going, oh, even in being nice, she was profiling me as another woman of color, as someone who didn't belong. Right? So I was just like, oh man, you think I'm just some happy kid from the back of the plane who got a free upgrade. Got it. And I'm saying that because that's the benign version of that, right? That's the harmless, internalized anti-Blackness that we all possess and have to confront daily. But the minute I found that Portia was arguing with a white woman on a plane in first class, I said, oh no, not seat 3A and 3B. This is about to be some capitalism Karen shenanigans.
This isn't furniture theft. This is the reality TV world's Kennedy incident. Do you believe the official story or a much bigger conspiracy?
Girl, shut up. Oh, this is Portia.
I love you. I like you. So the lady who was sitting next to me, I was on my phone, and the volume was up on the phone. So the music, the Instagram was on.
Now this is where Portia immediately lost me. And I'm gonna play a video, I think, from the Jasmine brand, because I feel like me and the Jasmine brand had their first immediate thought. What do you mean you were sitting on a plane? Fuck first class. You could have been in seat 56K. Is that even a number? I'm sorry, I don't know what the numbers look like back there. Is that a number? Did I make that up? Let's say 56D, right? Let's say you're in the cardboard seats in the back next to the fucking back wing of the engine of the plane. Regardless of where you are, but especially in the top tier seats, why the fuck are you playing Instagram on your phone with no headphones in 2025? Okay, does exist. Thank you. I wasn't sure if I was just making shit up. Why are you in seat 3A raw dogging your phone, watching the Shade Room and Neighborhood Chalk or Chat or whatever the fuck they call them sites, where everybody can hear what you're watching? Not everybody wants to find out what happened to Krishan's tooth. Not everybody wants to find out if such and such is going to be in the next Wakanda film. Like, why are you playing your phone just open ass on the phone? That I'm gonna be honest, and this is where my autism comes in, that would have annoyed the fuck out of me. We all too grown, and clearly we all have too much money for you not to be able to get you at least a $40 pair of earbuds from Amazon. So yeah, so Portia, let's set the scene, right? Because two things can be true. Portia could have been doing something that I would have found incredibly fucking exhausting and annoying, and that white lady was probably racist as fuck, right? So she's sitting on the plane and she's looking at Instagram, so you can just imagine what the fuck she was looking at. She's looking at Instagram on her phone with no headset, and there's a white woman next to her. Portia, I'm not victim blaming, but baby, get you some headsets. I would love for Beats by Dre or somebody to give her an endorsement deal after hearing this story, because I don't like that, Portia.
And she told me, am I going to have to listen to that? And I said, well, do you want to? And she said,
Wait, the lady said, am I going to have to listen to that? Which is a little spicy. And then Portia says, well, do you want to? Which is also, so everybody's an asshole so far. So far, Portia and the lady are both moving like assholes. Somebody said, as Dominican that lived in Spain for a few years before coming here, and I do makeup, Blue, you're not wrong, been there. Oh, okay. I love it when y'all show up a little bit late, but still got some tea to share. Portia, you're annoying. She's annoying. Right now, racism isn't a part of it. I think you're both obnoxious. Right now. Let's continue listening.
No. I said, okay. And then I said, well, it was a nicer way you could have said that, And then she says, what? She's like, talk to me. And I was like,
okay. Now we're into racism. Okay, Portia, I was trying. Okay. I don't mean to laugh, but I actually intentionally didn't listen to this story so I could be watching it live with y'all. That escalated more quickly than I thought. I'm laughing because I'm shocked, not because I endorse it, okay? So Portia said, this is why you gotta be careful with old people. White or black, old people are just ornery, okay? And honestly, I think the minute I hit 65, I'm gonna start telling everybody to suck my dick. So I can't even say I don't get it. Because if you live for a certain amount of time, everybody can suck your dick. But apparently, the lady said, am I gonna have to listen to that all flight? And Portia said, would you like to? And the lady just started calling her all types of bitches. I ain't shit. There's a more responsible way to tell this story. I'm going to blame the jet lag, y'all. The old white lady just went straight to hell after that, according to Portia. All right, let's continue watching.
Are you okay? From that point on, she said, who do you think you are? And so I said, oh, no.
Okay. Oh, God. I relate to this so much. I think that's why I'm laughing. The minute the white lady said, fuck you, bitch, and who the fuck do you think you are? Portia said, we're not doing this. Security. This is the first time that I can relate to Portia. When the lady said, who the fuck do you think you are? In seat 3B, Portia said, so yeah, let's go on ahead and call the captain. A 60-something-year-old white lady asked me who the fuck I think I am. I think I'm an even bigger Karen than you. Security. One of my pastimes is out Karening white women. I can out Karen a white woman. I'm from Boston. I have it in me. I'm from Boston. I went to private school. I worked at Harvard. I can out Karen a Karen. And so when Portia said, yeah, so we're not doing this. I don't even, now that you said fuck me, in the words of 50 Cent, I was just sleeping. What you mean fuck 50? I just woke up. Portia, at this point, Portia was like, oh, so you good and crazy. We can end this right now. I've actually been on a flight with somebody like this. I was once in a window seat, and this lady, this very rotund lady, and I'm saying rotund not because she was plus size, but because she was actually built in a way where rotund feels like she was built like a snowman. I'll just say that. And I'm not body shaming. I'm just being descriptive. And this rotund, Frosty the Snowman lady with a thick Kentucky accent was sitting in the middle seat. And I remember thinking, as a fellow big bitch, I never agreed to be in the middle seat. Oh, what did you? Okay, so I was like, damn, that's you, okay, middle seat, shorty. Okay, let's see how this works. Okay, because at this point, me and my breasts are pushed against the window. And I'm just like, damn, two big bitches in the window in the middle seat. Please tell me a child is sitting in the aisle. Nope. Here come Carl Winslow sitting in the aisle. And this is not me being fat phobic. This is me just being a descriptive bitch who has no pain around her fatness. We looked as if a can of biscuits had exploded. So now I'm just like, fuck. Everything I want to say is going to be a diss on myself. So now I'm just angry, but I can't even talk shit in my head. So I'm like, you know what? You know what I do when I'm stressed? This was back when I sit in the back of the plane. For those who are like, Blue, why don't you like sitting in the back of the plane? Because of shit like this. There's no middle seat in first class, y'all, respectfully. There's no middle seat. That's trauma, okay? Y'all think I'm bougie? It's trauma. So back when I used to sit in places where they had middle seats, this lady might be the reason why I haven't gone back. She was like, where you from? Thick Kentucky accent. Now, here's the thing. I'm a Wayne Brady type of black. And Wayne Brady and I follow each other, so that's funny. Wayne, if you see this, what's up? They usually treat me like a token because they can tell from my diction that I might have had a little bit of education. So I'm used to racist white people thinking I'm one of the good Negroes that they can just chit chat with. You know what I mean? You one of them good blacks. I'm used to all that bullshit. And mind you, we're in Boston. This is happening in Boston, okay? So the Mississippi of the North. She starts chit-chatting me, and I answer a few polite questions, and then immediately do what I always do. I put in my headset and go, oh no, I can't hear you no more. Oh no, I can't hear you, the headset. And then I close my eyes and proceed to be a narcoleptic. I am listening to some music. I think it was Emily King at the time, because I used to love traveling listening to Emily King. One of my favorite travel songs by Emily King is called Distance, right? So I'm listening to Emily King, who, for those who don't know who Emily King is, she's who Alicia Keys thinks she is, voice-wise. The voice that Alicia Keys hears in her head, rather than the one that we hear, is what Emily King actually sounds like. So I'm listening to her, not Alicia catching a stray, my bad, sis. And I'm listening to the music, head pressed against the cold window shield, the shade, because you know they always tell you in a red eye to pull the shade down. Out of nowhere, I feel my face scraping. This Kentucky bitch leans over and slaps open the window against my face. Y'all know that I'll knock all this shit over type of bitch, right? My Mercury is in Aries. My rising is in Gemini. My Mars is in Leo. I'm an earth sign, but I have fire and air in all the places where you have to deal with the public. So I'm like, oh, this bitch might have to die, because what just happened? So I pop my eyes open and I do the thing that I teach my students, right? Before you choose violence, ask for clarity. You see how as I'm talking, my voice is going slower? This is a technique that I always use to keep myself from going to jail. So I do the thing I always do when I slow down. I start breathing. Mitzen's in here. Mitzen will tell you, I teach in class something called the power of the pause. There's cause and effect, but there's a little thing in between called the pause. It's cause, pause, and effect. In the pause, this is some free game for emotional intelligence. In that pause is where you decide what you're going to do before you react. I've learned to elongate my pause. When I'm about to slap a bitch, I make myself pause longer. That's why I talk slower, right? So I'm like, excuse me, could you please not do that? You see how polite I was? She's like, what? I want to see outside. I said, I understand, but I want to go to sleep. And as you can see, everybody has their shade down because they request that we have our shades down at night during a red-eye flight. She looks at me like, okay, sedity black bitch. Because now I'm going from being a token to being confrontational. Mind you, I'm being incredibly reasonable. But the minute you confront, suddenly you're not a token anymore. I put the shade back down, close my eyes. 2 minutes later, I shit you not, this bitch leans over and does it again. When I open my eyes, she's ready for me. She says, look, if you didn't want to look out the window, why'd you pick a window seat? You see how I'm breathing? I'm getting mad again. And I turn to her and I say, so check it. I picked the seat that I wanted. If you wanted to look out the window, you should have picked a window seat. I will tell you this, though. Do not let my diction fool you. You have one more time to reach over my face and touch this shade before this plane ride becomes uncomfortable for you and everybody else on it. You have one more time to touch my face before you find yourself steeped in regret. And I stared at her and said, do you have any questions about my stance? I want to provide her an opportunity to process. She's like, what? I said, I am trying to keep you safe. I'm trying to keep you safe. Do you have any questions about the boundary I am setting before this becomes unsafe for you? And the bitch never touched my window seat again. I know when I'm about to lose my shit, and I have learned to give people an opportunity to keep themselves safe. Because the way I'm set up morally is, if I do all of that and you still show your ass, whatever fucking ass whooping you get, you earned that shit, and I'm not fucking apologizing. You chose it actively. It didn't come out of nowhere. You weren't blindsided. You were put on notice and you made a choice. And I love consequences. Let's fucking go. Right? Now, had she done it one more time, knowing me, I probably would have kicked her in the shins and then called security and lied and said I didn't do shit. I'm Caribbean, y'all. I probably would have stomped the fuck out of her toe and then put on my, officer, I have no idea what's happening. I was sleeping and this lady assaulted me and kept putting the window up. Can someone please call security? When I say I can out Karen a Karen, okay, you know what? This is a members only conversation. Let me not. That's to say that I've had me a lot of incidents with white people on planes. And for some reason, I never get arrested. And so when I was watching this, I was like, if I'm up here threatening bodily harm to Southern white women and not getting arrested, what could Portia have possibly done for the feds to come? Let's continue listening, boys and girls.
I said, y'all need to get her out of here. Please get her away from me. And so then when she, she tried to take her phone and record, and she drops her phone on the floor. She's like, you hit me. Oh my God.
So you know what Portia's alleging? Portia's saying the lady got so mad and Karen, she grabbed her phone to record, and she was so frazzled and upset, she dropped the phone. And when the phone dropped, she immediately went into lying and saying that Portia attacked her. Wow.
You hit me. You just hit me in my face. Oh my God. I'm pressing charges. I want you to be in jail. And I'm like, what's happening? So the stewardess.
Also, her phone dropped on the floor. You didn't slap the phone from my hands.
No.
Oh, the person who's talking to her is the officer with the body cam. And shout out to the Caribbean community. We all know this is a black man from the Caribbean. Okay? I can smell the roti from the first word out of his mouth. That man makes a mean oxtail just from hearing his voice. That his sister makes some good rice and peas, okay? So she's talking to a black man clearly, to me. And what's funny is this is in the Atlanta airport at the Delta Gate, right? So imagine this is a Caribbean officer in Atlanta at Delta talking to a reality star who's just been escorted off the plane by the feds for a random white lady. God, now I want some roti. Fuck. All right, let's keep watching.
Okay.
So then the steward comes over, and then the steward says to her, says to me, because I say, get your ugly out of here, because then I'm upset. Then the steward.
Oh, okay, Portia. Okay, Portia. Okay. Apparently, at this point, Portia says, "Get her ugly ass the fuck out of here." Portia. Okay. Part of me when I'm being violent is I tend to sound very like James Earl Jones the entire time I'm threatening to kill people. Portia, you can't just okay. Portia, oh man. Portia didn't out Karen the Karen. She turned into Cookie Lyons. Okay, that's why the feds came. I will say this. Part of me being from Boston is I know how to clap back at white people without acting in a way that is stereotypically black and going to get me profiled and in trouble. I will always act like a dignified, completely dumbfounded and offended white woman when I'm upset because I recognize it's a mind fuck, right? It's a mind fuck. When you get angry like Diana Carroll rather than Pootie Tang, they don't know what to do with you. This is not politically correct, but it's also not ineffective. Okay? Stay safe. When you are in a racially steeped affair, and you can tell that racial bias is creating a narrative that they can't wait. Ooh, they can't wait for you to do a neck swivel. My nigga, I will become Diana fucking Princess Diana, Princess of Wales. Where's my tiara, ho? My pinky will be in the air as I sip on my tea and call security. So when Portia broke and went into, get this bitch the fuck out my face, that's probably, Portia, I get it. It's a reasonable thing, but Portia, you got to understand how to play the game, especially when you're in the South.
Says to me, you're an adult. You're an adult. You can't be cursing like that. No, and I said,
Did you hear what she said? When Portia snapped after mind you, the lady called her all types of hoes and bitches allegedly. Portia kept her composure. But when Portia snapped and said, get this bitch the fuck out my face, all the stewardess heard, the attendant heard was angry black Shanae with new money. And in Portia's own language, the minute she snapped, they didn't look at the white lady. They looked at her and said, hey, you can't be cursing like that on the plane. Please show some decorum. When I'm right, I'm right. I'm not always right, but when I'm right, I'm right. I don't ever give the ops an opportunity to say shit like that to me. Never. It's a matter of warfare when you are a Black woman in a luxury space and everybody is just waiting for you to make their assumptions true. Mind you, I don't code switch because I have any anti-Blackness in me as far as thinking that African-American vernacular English is not valid because it's the language of those who actually built this fucking country. I just also know how to play the game because, again, triple Virgo, okay? This is strategy. This is not culture wars. This is pure strategy. This is what I call the art of war when it comes to racial negotiations with those who are not fully steeped in seeing Black people as full-bodied human beings.
Why are you chastising me? Like, this woman is the one going crazy. So then they end up making her move to the next chair with the guy. But she was irate, so they were trying to hold her because she didn't want to move. It's like she wanted to move but didn't want to move. So as you can see, they had to pull her.
She was at the window or she was at the air?
So she was in the row. On the aisle. I'm sorry.
She was in the aisle. And where were you? You were in the middle?
I'm at the door in first class. It's only 2 seats.
Somebody said, thank goodness for the witnesses that saw the whole video because the online narrative was already against Portia. Really? Oh, I hate that. See? Although, here's the thing. I hate that because, again, two truths could coexist. Portia has been on camera beating people up. Back in the day, Portia used to mollywop people. So when you beating bitches' ass on not live, but on television, I don't like that they jumped to blame Portia, but I also understand that there's a precedent, objectively speaking, for them to do so. So I'm still on the fence with this one.
Only 2 seats. Oh, you are the window, and she's at the aisle.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're telling me there was nothing physical?
No.
It was just verbal.
Yeah.
How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm not very good, sir. And you?
Good. I'm Officer Brumant. I work with the Atlanta Police Department.
So this is the lady. Oh, I'd have fun with this bitch. This is the. Sorry, I'm trying not to do the evil villain laugh, but it's the way I naturally laugh, right? This is not even like a Meryl Streep high class Miranda type from Devil Wears Prada white woman. This is like a Portia. Man, I should teach a class about how to unravel Karens because this would be a fun little tussle, child. Someone says she looks Russian. She does, and Russians are unchecked when they're racist. Rich Russian men love Black women. Shout out to Naomi Campbell and all the models, the Black supermodels who can attest to this. But when a Russian person is living in their full European glory, they are the most bluntly racist people you ever. It's actually astonishing.
Great. So I heard about the incident that happened, but I haven't heard your side of the story.
Why didn't we hear my side of the story first, sir?
Well, I had another officer.
Oh, wait. She looks Russian, but this sounds like, oh, she looks Russian. That might be where her people are from, but she sounds okay. Where do we think she's from? Maybe she lives in Atlanta.
So,
oh, okay. Well,
spoke to you, but I just want to hear it
and do
personally.
you think it's proper to me tell you the whole story where everybody's sitting around here, they can all hear it?
Okay, she's racist. The fact that Oxtail and Roti is trying to ask her some basic questions and she's literally reprimanding him on how to do his job. I know what you are. If a white police officer came to her to question her, I don't think she'd be giving him tips about how to. Oh, man. Okay. If this is how she's talking to an officer, I can just imagine the types of bitches she called Portia. Oh, she's more of a formidable opponent than I thought.
No, ma'am. If you want to be private.
I think we should be private, sir. This is an assault
Okay,
matter.
you want to come over?
Yes.
First of all, where did the incident happen?
I was sitting in my seat.
Where?
In Delta Airlines, seat number 3A, or B, I believe.
This happened in Las Vegas?
Yes, sir.
While the plane was still...
So this is literally the flight from BravoCon. Oof. That flight from BravoCon from Vegas to Atlanta and Vegas to DC, Maryland area. Child, y'all must have seen some shit this week.
No.
The plane was in the air?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was taking off. That's why the flight attendants couldn't come help me from her beating, because they had to be buckled in.
Okay, so what happened?
Before I say anything, I want to know, is my information going to be given to the woman who assaulted me?
No, ma'am.
Because I'm afraid for my life.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
It's not.
I sat in my...
Wait. Is my information going to be shared with the woman who assaulted me because I'm afraid for my life? Okay, this is getting dangerous now. That kind of language, and you guys know when I say dangerous, I'm being quite literal. No. You're afraid for your life because you called her a bitch and then your phone fell out your hand?
I was sitting in my seat. She was the last passenger to come on board. So when she came on board,
Atlanta, Georgia is in the eastern.
She said, I'm in that seat. I said, no problem. I jumped up, got far away from her so she had plenty of room.
Wait a minute. Someone points out that you're sitting in their seat and your response is to get defensive and sit far away from them as if they've done something egregious. You're the one who took somebody else's seat. Why are you not just simply apologetic for your mistake? Do you see the framing? She said, you're sitting in my seat. Listen to this. She was the last person on the plane because she doesn't even belong here, right? She's the last person on the plane. And she walks up to me and says, you're sitting in my seat. And I say, no problem, and get far away from her. Do you see how immediately on site, everything is combative? Even though the only person so far who's been inconvenienced is Portia from finding a random woman in her seat. God.
She had to put stuff in the upstairs thing. I understand that. Took plenty of time. Sit back down.
She had to put stuff in the upstairs bin. And I understand that. She took plenty of time. You one of those, baby. I see. Oh, okay, Portia, I'll take it back. You had a grade A cap lock, Karen. Capital K, capital A. Got it. Okay.
We never spoke other than that. And after about 25 minutes of her on Instagram, full blast, every time she would flip, because apparently it was from a loud place, I jumped because it was so loud. Okay,
this is the part where Portia loses me, though. This lady is a grade A racist. And Portia, where the fuck are your earbuds? 25 minutes listening to Instagram on your phone is wild to me. Oh, man, it's one of them situations where everybody's making me mad. Okay. All right. Her saying she jumped is ridiculous. You didn't jump because she scrolled past the shade room. And also, Portia, why the fuck were you listening to... I kind of hate all of this. I kind of hate everything about this.
So I waited 25 minutes, give her time, let her do whatever she needed to do. And then I said, am I going to have to listen to that the whole time? And she said, do you like it? And I said, no. And she said, well, I don't like the way you asked me.
Okay, so far, her and Portia are telling the same story. The lady doesn't know she admitted to being fucking racist, but so far, her and Portia are telling the same story. By the way, guys, I love the color mint green in general. Mint green and blush pink and teal are like my wheelhouse. In fact, my silk pajamas that I be trying to wear on here, but for some reason the green screen won't let y'all see it. You see all these colors, all these mint greens and blush pinks and teals, like literally, like they're all in my pajamas. One thing I'm realizing looking at this camera, I love that now that my hair is red, when I'm wearing mint green, it pops. Sorry, I just got completely distracted by that. All right, back to this old battle axe.
I said, don't put this on me. And the next thing I know, there was a fingernail so close to my eye that I thought I was going to be physically attacked.
Okay, this is where she loses me. This is where she loses me.
She had her, I don't want to do it to you, sir. She had her hands in my face, screaming, calling me crazy. On and on and on. So now the flight attendants can't come help me because they're strapped in for this takeoff. My phone is sitting against my leg on my lap. So I take it to video to try and protect.
Yes, guys, the show is sponsored by ADHD, so if it gets in your nerves, this is probably not the place for you. I'm like this all the time.
Myself. And as soon as I go like this, she takes her hand and goes like that and throws my phone, and everybody sees the phone go down the end of the whole airplane, and the flight attendant told me he saw her knock it out of my hand.
I have questions. Was this first class or Delta One? Yes, there is a difference. First class is it's 2 comfortable seats with a small partition. Delta One is a little bit more spacious with a pull-out bed, like a bed that just will recline. The cabins for first class are pretty well spaced out, which means if you were in first class and you were to slap somebody's hand, it would be a big movement. It wouldn't be like a flick of the hand, right? And if they were in Delta One, now, bitch, at this point, you're damn near standing up. So if Portia was to do what this lady said, I'm trying to be objective like a prosecutor and not just immediately think she's lying just because she's fucking racist, because even racists can tell the truth and even Black people can lie. But even with me doing my darndest to be objective, my spidey sense is telling me that she dropped her phone and got embarrassed. My spidey sense is telling me that Portia was probably sitting in her chair, and Portia is like a really pretty pillow princess kind of energy. Portia's probably sitting in her chair like, oop, you being nasty, with her hand in front of her own face. And the lady from fucking 37 inches away has embellished that to say that Portia leaned over and put her finger in her hands. I don't, for some reason, I don't believe that Portia got in this lady's face in first class. The same Portia who's like, oops, security is not doing that. That's not how that moves. That's not how that moves.
And that's assault. And I'm 70 years old.
So she actually knocked the phone off your hand?
You're right, she did.
Okay.
I didn't drop it.
All right. All right.
Okay, now I believe Portia 100%, because the Black man, and I'm saying he's a Black man so you understand who she's looking at. She's complaining about niggas to niggas. If you're racist, that matters. And he says, so you're saying that you didn't drop it. She pushed it out your hand and she said, you're fucking right, I am. Bruh. If the cop can't even make it through a conversation without you cussing at him.
Here's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid she's going to have me killed. Here's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid she's going to have me killed.
I'm afraid she's going to have me killed. First of all, to say I didn't drop it when nobody asked you if you dropped it yet, and to offer that up means you dropped it and are already preemptively trying to counterbalance her story. But then for the clip to end with, I was scared for my life. Be for real, bitch. You were scared for your life?
You're absolutely right. She should have had headphones on. We're talking about Portia Williams, but the lady should have let the flight attendant handle it. Absolutely. And I'll say this, and I was about to do a video responding to someone else saying that the white lady was allegedly racist. I'm not doubting that. Two things can be true. First of all, and someone else said this in the comments, who does not have headphones in 2025? Yeah. One of my pet peeves is like being like, I don't mind so much like if somebody's passing me when I have the headphones on, but if I'm in close proximity, like, because then I want to be nosy. Like if you next to me and you watching TikTok, I want to see what you looking at. Oh, what's going on? Like I want to do all that. That's when.
Okay, I don't relate to that. I actually don't want to do all that. I don't give a fuck what's on your phone. Keep it to yourself. It's not because I'm nosy. I don't care and I don't want to hear it. So I don't relate to that. But I find this funny, right? We're having this conversation. Somebody said, again, the whole having her killed thing is wild to me. My brain won't even, and somebody said every accusation is a confession. I agree. My brain won't even process that she was serious when she said that because, and somebody says, this lady has been doing this. Yes, there's something so audacious and ridiculous about this. However, somebody in here wrote that Portia is a rich Black woman. And I'm happy that you guys wrote that because I do believe that what really offended her was the rich Black womanhood of Portia. I think what set this woman off is Portia's not just a rich Black woman. She's a soft, feminine, attractive show pony of a rich Black woman, right? Portia is a trophy. She is a doll. And it's so funny, as someone who finds themselves in bourgeois spaces quite often, but who does not wear makeup more than once a week. Y'all know y'all gonna get a little bit of a beat on a Friday, and that's about all you can expect from me, right? When I'm dressed down with a naked face and just look like a bum, the way that people respond to my Black comfort, because I'm not wealthy, I'm not even rich, y'all, I'm just comfortable. The way people react to me being Black and comfortable is very different than when I'm dolled up. When I'm on a flight or in a space where my hair and my nails are done and I'm looking more like a show pony, that feels a lot more charged than me looking like a homeless tech founder. You know how people who have tech startups all look homeless but are worth $1 billion? When I'm doing my Steve Jobs, people act like I'm a nuisance or they don't even react to me at all. When I'm dressed up, there is this fascination that non-Black people have. Oh my God, you smell so good. Oh my God, where you get the thing from? Like, they either are fawning so that they can invade my space, or they're just staring a lot. And I think because Portia, you saw how Portia came out with a full beat, a fresh wig, and a fur coat, baby. Okay? Did I cover Candy yet? Yes, we started off with Candy, baby. You missed that. Sorry. So I feel like the presentation of prettiness, right? I'm not gonna call it pretty punishment like that girl Saweetie calls it, because I think that's actually cheapening and flattening it and also over exaggerating it. But when you are a Black woman who is opulent and also looks like you're not struggling for it, I think it's the absence of struggle that tends to bother people like this woman even more when we're in opulent spaces. Because, like, how dare you be in this space with me and not even look like you broke a sweat to be here?
And told a flight attendant, and a flight attendant should have handled it.
What was the reason? What was the reason? What was the reason?
So let's talk about the reason that I just mentioned about why women like this will always, always be triggered by the Portias of the world.
Because when everything is going according to plan, Black women are made to believe that we can't have anything except struggle and survival. When we break out of the brainwashing, our opulent lives are offensive to them. They want us to shut up, smile, slave away in their corporations, and then go home and slave away in a kitchen. They want us broke and brainwashed, stressed and depressed, overweight and overwhelmed. But today and every day, I declare war on every lie, every limitation, and every low expectation placed on our lives.
Yeah.
We are not here to shrink, we are here to shine. Some of our sisters don't understand. They think our beauty is arbitrary, when in fact, it's revolutionary. They mistake our grace for an absence of grit. In reality, it is silk-wrapped resilience. They don't understand luxury is a battlefield.
It is silk-wrapped resilience. That's a fucking bar. Black women, brown women, BIPOC women who reclaim softness as a birthright, who want to be poured into as much as they pour out of themselves. It is silk wrapped in resilience. I mean, resilience wrapped in silk, right? And so I think a lot of times people think that, oh, you must just be weak because you're a princess, but you don't understand how much courage it takes to walk outside without an armor. I actually think when we walk around stern and frowning and scared to smile and looking combative, that to me is actually more cowardly, because it's saying that I'm ready for a fight rather than just owning the space that I take up. That's my personal opinion, right? Being combative to me is actually easier than allowing your softness to permeate all the spaces you enter, even when people don't think you deserve to be in those spaces. So I actually very much agree with this.
Money is not the root of all evil. Money is the root of all influence.
Ooh, I love it when the girls be cooking. Money is not the root of all evil. Money is the root of influence. Oh, I feel like my credit score is about to go up watching this. Now, we just did this whole thing around Candy, opulent, successful, brilliant businesswoman, right? Who is trying to find love, found somebody she adored, and many of us are speculating that the disparities financially might have played a factor in her marriage. And that's a very lazy assumption to make, but it's also historically founded in a lot of truth from what we've seen from her family and her mother and even Todd himself sometimes. Because Todd be outside allegedly. And so first we're looking about how Black opulence and Black wealth affects women when it comes to relationships. Now we're looking about it, how it affects us when we are just trying to merely exist with other affluent people who are not Black. But this third video that I'm about to play for you guys is about the backlash that many of our faves, particularly our Black faves, received recently, earlier this month, when they were at the apex of not just wealth, but acceptance. What happens when you're not a Portia who's in first class fighting over the fact that you don't have any earbuds with a random wasp, and you're now Beyonce at a Kardashian party, hobnobbing with 9 or so billionaires? What happens when it's not the people in your ecosystem who are judging you, but your impoverished audience who is dismayed by the wealth that they've helped you acquire? This third video, guys, is going to be about Kris Jenner's 70th birthday. And for those who didn't hear, there was some complicated feelings around Kris Jenner's 70th birthday. And I made a compilation video, because of course. And in the compilation video, we're going to have to all have some uncomfortable conversations, not just with the video and the clips themselves, but with ourselves about how do we feel about Eat the Rich? In 2025, where most of my clients come to me to ask about money instead of love, because usually when you're a coach or a psychic, or you pull tarot cards, or you do anything in the arts around self-reflection, love is usually the number one question. For the first time in 20 years, love has been replaced with fear around money. People talk to me about their fears around survival and their finances more than they talk about their need to be loved on and have partnership. I have never seen that in my life. I have never seen that in my life, particularly when it comes to women. So what happens in an era where everybody is worried about survival, and so many of us would love to be rich, and yet simultaneously are also screaming, eat the rich? If you don't know anything about Kris Jenner's birthday party, don't worry. As usual, I'm about to level set and catch you all up. And if you do know about Kris Jenner's birthday party, well, let's double click.
Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party. There's been a lot said about this famous family. So Kris Jenner just turned 70, and of course the celebration was anything but normal. Like, this wasn't just a dinner party with a cake and a few balloons. No. This was a full-on fantasy event that people are comparing to the Hunger Games Capitol, with the way that people in attendance had enough money to solve.
By the way, can we all just admit that regardless of what you think about the Kardashians or the subject matter, that this party looked like they had a time? My mama turned 79. I got her a fruit basket, her favorite food, and, you know, me and a couple of family members went to the facility to visit her and play Haitian music and dance and make her laugh. Okay? I thought I was doing something for my mother's 79th. And a week later, I would love for my mother to be this healthy and this wealthy. I'm being honest. Yes? And so optically, as a bitch who likes nice things, I'm not mad at it. But socially, I recognize why the backlash is happening. I get it. I'm not just going to be here caping for rich people. I am also going to say, I can't say eat the rich, because that would mean I'd have to give up half of my friends. So there's a conflict of interest here for me, because I'm not going to pretend like I don't have friends who technically fit the eat the rich moniker. I will say this, though. We do need to be careful about how we talk about eat the rich when we're benefiting from and or opting into a capitalistic society that we have to opt into for survival. It's a tricky and complicated conversation where nobody walks away without being a hypocrite. Because again, for those who came in late, most of my very popular activist friends who are anti-capitalist on social media that y'all clap for are filthy fucking rich. Most of my friends who make a living talking about revolution live in $1 million houses. and make over $300K a year. So for me, being the autistic one who's always like clocking pattern recognition, even some of y'all's faves who be talking about eat the rich but have 300, 400,000 followers and are monetizing every video, I'd be like, you got a lot of bass in your voice for somebody who's talking about themselves low key. That's why I can't do it. The reason why I can't say eat the rich is because I'm not the rich friend, but I plan to be. And so for the sake of not being a hypocrite, I can't opt into this. I actually am going to be big enough to recuse myself from this rhetoric. And for me, this is purely an academic exercise. Okay?
Of the world's problems, basically. It's all the celebrities that attended Kris Jenner's James Bond themed 70th birthday and what they wore. Kicking it off with the one and only Beyonce and her mother, Dina Knowles. I was gagged when I saw that Beyonce was there. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and people are already mad. Here's Harry and Meghan inside Chris's birthday party and Meghan with Kim. The guest list was seriously stacked.
Y'all, this entire video is calling everybody in this chat broke. That's a safe assumption to make. This entire video is calling everybody broke. And for those who are saying, I don't think anybody's worrying about the 300K a year people, actually, I beg to differ because there's a video in here in this compilation that says the opposite. The 100K people are the top 10%. The eat the rich rhetoric is already starting to move the bar. Because if you're making 300K a year, you're going to be a millionaire soon if you have any saving abilities. Can we all do the math? Can we all do the math? If you make 300K a year and you are responsible and save at least 20% of your income, you will be a millionaire within a decade. So when you guys are talking about being anti-millionaire, where do you think millionaires start, my love? I buckled down the hatches and saved 50K one year and was still doing luxurious shit. So I just need y'all to understand that once you start making about 350, being a millionaire is a matter of planning, not a matter of hoping. You can plan your way to be a millionaire the minute you hit 300K, guys. You actually can. And so I think what we're about to see here is that even within the eat the rich mantra, they can't even agree where rich starts. And that's part of what makes me nervous. That's part of what makes me nervous.
Oprah was there. Here she is with Kris. Gayle King. Adele was there. You can see her a little better in this photo in the background. Mariah Carey. Snoop Dogg. Kim, of course. Bill Gates. It was seriously like a billionaire's roll call. Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan were there. Photographed here inside the party, Jeff Bezos and his wife Lauren Sanchez, who actually hosted the party for Kris at their home. I guess that's...
Hey guys, can we all pretend that I actually edited the video and so I'm saying that millionaires are included because there's something in this video that's going to include them? Can we all pretend like I know how to produce content? Respectfully. If I'm telling you the eat the rich are going after millionaires, not just billionaires, you better believe I have a receipt. Respectfully. Just trust that I know what I'm doing.
It's what billionaires can do. The beautiful Alicia Keys. Justin Bieber, who was having a great night, was also spotted with some kind of white substance on his pants. You decide. There were a stack of photos of him and Kris just really bonding together and hitting the dance floor. Wife Hailey Bieber and of course Kendall were also there. Vanessa Bryan and Sierra.
Everybody looks amazing. Can we all just admit that? Like, eat the rich aside, can we all just admit that everybody looked stunning and it looked like a beautiful party? And I'm saying that because I'm shooting bail to the Kardashians. In fact, ironically, one of the biggest articles of my entire career, the article that got me on CNN, was actually about the Kardashians and how full of shit they are. So I'm not a Kardashian apologist. It's just that I'm the kind of person who can admit that something amazing has happened, even if I'm not a fan of the person who's doing it, right? This party looks fucking spectacular.
Jay-Z, Sarah Paulson, and Naomi Watts, including the rest of the All's Fair gang. Niecy Nash.
Niecy Nash is so fucking snatched. Oh, I love her. And All's Fair, for those who asked me to watch the show and give a review, I keep trying, but it's a painful watch, y'all.
Tiana Taylor and Ryan Murphy. Chris Rock and of course Kylie Jenner, Melanie Griffith, Paris Hilton, and Meghan Trainor.
Who wasn't there? My God.
Bruno Mars, who performed on the night, Tyler Perry and Selma Blair, Vin Diesel, the legendary Stevie Wonder, Kathy Hilton, and Nikki Hilton, the iconic Martha Stewart, Sia, Babyface, Toni Braxton.
Ooh, Tony looks good. And you love me. I love a good chartreuse, honey. I love a good chartreuse. Yes.
Designer Tommy Hilfiger, Miranda Kerr and husband Evan Spiegel, Lala Anthony, Chris Appleton, of course all of Chris's girls, Kyle Richards, Faye Resnick, and Farrah Brittany. More family like Travis Barker, and of course Corey Gamble.
The fact that Kim's mom now has gotten surgery to look like Kim and is still in a relationship with a man who looks like Kanye's uncle. There's an asterisk in my mind next to that. This looks like Kanye and Kim 20 years from now had they stayed together. Is it just me?
Her 70th birthday party was James Bond themed, and it was hosted at Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez Bezos' house in Beverly Hills. And we already know how people feel about that friendship. I mean, when the Kardashians went to their wedding, there was so much backlash over it. And I mean, the same happened with this birthday party celebration, as people just felt like the whole thing was a little dystopian.
It does feel a little Hunger Games. It's almost like, you know what this feels like? Watching the footage of the Kardashian 70th birthday party for Kris Jenner is like eating Halloween candy. You're so excited about that first Snickers bar or that first Kit Kat, but by like the 7th one, you start to get nauseous and now you're worried about getting cavities. This is so rich. The more you stare at it, it does feel a little too rich. The first time I ever experienced being overwhelmed and nauseated by decadence was when I went to the Vatican. As somebody who grew up Catholic, super, super Catholic, I remember when my mother and I went to Rome and we went to the Vatican, there was so much gold everywhere. The opulence of the Vatican, while my little baby brain, actually I was like 25, I wasn't a baby, but my little brain, my frontal lobe had almost fully congealed, was thinking, wait, growing up, y'all made us send pennies to Africa to help starving children, but you got gold dripping off the walls at the Vatican. And it grossed me out, guys. So I know for a fact I would never have to worry about being a billionaire because it will gross me out. There is a certain level of wealth that I actually find nauseating. I know that's not a popular statement, guys. But there's a certain level of opulence that at a certain point feels too much. It's like eating a piece of candy that's too sweet. And I can see how if you're someone who is, reusing plastic bags and bringing lunch to work and walking sometimes to save money on cab fare and bus rides, and then you get on your phone and are doom scrolling on the train and see this, I can see why this level of opulence would feel grotesque to you and incredibly Hunger Games-esque.
People said this feels like Hunger Games.
Oh, really?
Let them eat cake vibes, right? We are all starving, but so glad they're having so much fun.
I saw a video of all the billionaires that showed up to Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party last week, and I have not been able to stop thinking about it. Like, what did the Kardashians and Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg have in common? They're billionaires, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's society wants us to think that the Kardashians are these pariahs that nobody likes, nobody respects. Meanwhile, they're running around with the people who run the world.
Yeah, have y'all noticed that the first time the Kardashians were seen with Beyonce or anybody of influence or impact or who has a lot of public favor, everybody was so shocked. But it's been like a decade of us seeing them with influential people. At what point are we going to admit that we're making fun of them, but nobody else is? We, the general public, might be making fun of them, but the people who are moving and shaking are giving them unprecedented levels of access. At some point, we have to recognize, and this is something I debated bringing up, there's a really popular social commentarian on here, this beautiful trans woman, I think her name is Contra. And she did a video essay around envy. And one of the things she mentioned, because you guys don't realize, for every fun video that I post on here, there are much more nerdy, data-driven videos that I know you guys will not find entertaining, but I find fascinating. And while I was watching her video, she was talking about how at its core, Eat the Rich is steeped in envy. I disdain you because you possess something I don't. And the minute she said that, I had to sit with the fact that it's a two-way mirror when we say eat the rich, right? The pain tethered envy and also the casual flippancy and privilege that allows rich people to be completely out of touch. So it's like we all know that rich people are out of touch, but I don't think we ever want to admit how much envy the eat the rich mantra is objectively steeped in. And I'm not saying envy as if it's not valid, right? If I'm going hungry and you have food, fuck yeah, I envy you. I want a piece of bread, right? So I'm not saying envy as if it takes away the merit. I'm saying, yes, ContraPoints. I'm saying envy as if, objectively speaking, it is quite literally envy. And the reason why it's important, what do we always say? There's no safety without acknowledgement. If I am sanctimonious about eat the rich and do not admit the envy that has to exist for me to say that, then I am liable to not check myself in my politics and not realize how much of my self-righteousness is steeped in unchecked pain, right? And so please be clear, I'm not caping for the rich. I'm just saying that a lot of y'all, again, are hypocrites because you low-key want to be rich.
And I think about the influence that they have on women, on the appearance of women, on the way women dress in society. Like, their influence almost like this.
By the way, I agree. I agree that no one has to be poor for you to be rich. I also think that we have to tell people who do not have a lot of money that not every rich person is miserable. Because y'all love to say, well, you have money, but I have what money can't buy. What would y'all say if I told you I know people who are rich and also have what money can't buy? It's intellectually dishonest to say that who wants to be rich when you can just be happy, when deep down, all of us dream of being rich and happy. And some of us have realized it's actually fucking possible. This tit for tat thing, you know what I mean? And I blame, what is it, Dickinson? I blame like A Christmas Carol, where we always present rich as miserable as a way to make impoverished people feel better. I don't want to make impoverished people feel better about being poor because at least they're having more fun. I would like impoverished people to stop being impoverished. The answer isn't for us to act like it's more self-righteous to be broke. Is to help people stop being broke and help them make a living wage. And so there's a certain level of pride that some people have in poverty. Child, even when I was broke, I never thought I was poor. Y'all hear the distinction? Broke is a moment. It is a circumstance. Poverty, in my opinion, is a mindset, and it's a cancer. To me, I've been broke a lot. I've never seen myself as poor because nothing about my mind and how brilliant I believe I am or the value that I think I can add to the world screams poor. I feel like I can be broke and abundant. I was an abundant bitch who was broke, who figured out how to be an abundant bitch who wasn't broke. And that's not saying that life is fair or that hard work will help you be abundant. No, life is not fucking fair, and capitalism doesn't give a fuck about hard work. I am saying, though, that you can strategize with the best of your abilities to get further than you currently are. And for some people, here's the thing. In my hometown, let's say me making $300K a year in my hometown, I've made it. In LA, I'm the broke friend. Yeah? And by the way, I'm not saying I make $300K because I would never tell y'all how much I actually make because the internet is full of people who will love you until they envy you and then they hate you. So I will quite literally never tell y'all how much I make. If I'm broke, you would think I'm rich. If I'm rich, you would think I'm broke. I make it a point to always go on the internet as if I am broke and celibate. Because the minute y'all find out a bitch got a coin and is getting dick down, everybody wants to be a hater, right? But I'm saying 300K in Boston makes me the rich cousin. 300K in LA makes me the mid-tier, slightly broke friend. So I want you guys to understand that if you hate rich people, and for you, rich starts before billionaire, because I do think it's obscene to be a billionaire. I don't think billionaires should exist. I'm one of those. I don't think billionaires should exist. I love Beyonce. I love Rihanna. I still don't think billionaires should exist. The minute I hit a billion, I would start creating more foundations and giving some away, personally. But when you are struggling, again, this party, The more I looked into it, the more I understood why this party pissed everybody off so much. Even though, had I been invited, I would have been in that bitch. I get why the party pissed y'all off, but had I been invited, I would have been in there. I'm not gonna lie to you.
This is gonna be a stretch, but it almost feels like CIA oriented in a way. You know what I mean? Because like people like to make it seem like Kim Kardashian is like this pariah that nobody likes, nobody respects. They have pull. They're in those rooms with those billionaires. They're talking to the Bill Gates and the Mark Zuckerbergs and the Jeff Bezos. I think they're running things in society more than we would assume. It just feels like all one big joke, you know, like they're all one family. And we are the people in the Hunger Games looking up at them, and not me. I don't watch their stuff. I don't get involved in anything that the Kardashians really have to do, because I feel like they...
Yes, and shout out to Mackenzie Scott. For those who don't know who she is, that is Jeff Bezos' first wife, the one who was driving the car for them to move and start their dreams of starting Amazon. She was literally driving their car full of stuff to start their business while he was in the backseat working on the business plan. When she broke up with Jeff Bezos, she was the first employee at Amazon. She has a lot of money. When you are the first employee at Amazon and you low-key helped your husband create Amazon, you better believe you leaving here with everything. Fuck something. You leaving here with everything. Mackenzie has made it her life's mission to not stay a billionaire. She just recently gave over $700 million to HBCUs, and not just the popular ones. It wasn't just Howard and Spelman. She gave over $700 million to HBCUs across the realm. She's the kind of rich that I want to be. I've always said since I was a child, I want to be so rich that my family and my descendants are so well taken care of, I can give the rest away. I dream about being able to open up the pool of who I can trick on. Y'all see me right now. I live on a budget. I gotta, I have my little flights and stuff, but y'all, I still make my dinners and stuff. I still have bills to pay for my mama, my stepdaddy. And yet, y'all gave me $10 a month to be members. And what do? Every month, I try to figure out new ways to trick on y'all. It's fun for me to trick on people, even for $10, right? I like the idea of getting enough to have a surplus to give back to the community that fed me. And why am I pointing this out? Money does not change you. Money makes you more of who you already are. Mackenzie Scott was a generous person who became rich and got even more generous. When you meet somebody who's an asshole for having money, they were always an asshole. They were just too broke to admit it and show it. So I do not believe that money changes you and money is the root of all evil. I believe money reveals you. It reveals who you were all along. And that's why my conversations around money are not so black and white about good and evil. I don't think being broke means you're a good person and being rich means you're evil. I've never subscribed to that. I think there's something haterish and dishonest about that mindset, honestly.
Off of Black culture while still having the privilege of being white women. And so,
according to a Forbes article, there were at least 9 billionaires seen at the party. They literally published a whole article listing them, rating all the billionaires at Kris Jenner's 70th birthday party. The star-studded guest list included celebrities and a group of billionaires worth more than $500 billion. These are insane numbers, you guys. Of course, Jeff Bezos was there.
You guys, I'm talking about billions. There was trillions of dollars at that party. There were trillions with a T of dollars at that party. And for those who are wondering, y'all know I should start selling these, y'all. I'm eating a buttermint. Why do I love buttermints? When your energy is low, you need a little bit of sugar. Buttermint, very low calorie. When you're nauseous from cramps or medicine, buttermint helps with nausea. If you've seen a cute boy and he's about to roll up on you, buttermint keeps your breath fresh. There are very few things that a buttermint can't help. I'm just saying. If there's a buttermint sponsor, I'm being so Caribbean right now. Caribbeans love mints and mint tea. I don't know what it is about Caribbeans. It's probably a story about that. Well, if anybody out there has a buttermint company and y'all need a sponsor, ambassador, holla at your girl.
Because he hosted it, but also Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, along with Oprah and Tyler Perry, and don't forget, literally Kim Kardashian.
Somebody said a buttermint can't help poor credit. Touche. Maybe it could though, because if you eat a buttermint while asking for a loan, I'm just saying, don't sleep on the buttermint.
I mean, the fact that this is just like so normal and common in their friend group and their daily lives is just so insane.
Let me put y'all on some game. The reason why Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, Beyonce, Jay-Z, all of them folks were at Kris Jenner's birthday party is it's a great place to make business deals. They
Great
make
point.
connections, they build relationships, and they make money through socializing. Not saying they're not friends, but it's always about the bottom line, money.
I
And it really is giving Hunger Games capital when you think about like all these people just like partying together. A lot of people are just frustrated that they could be helping the world and they just sit on their cash.
That's the thing too. When we say they could be helping the world, but they're just sitting on their cash, how do we know they're not helping the world? Because Beyonce has so many foundations that she has to help small businesses, certain communities, housing in Houston where she's from. How do we know that just because there's not a press release that it's not actually happening? I always get nervous when we say stuff like that because how do we know? I know so many people who give privately. I actually give to a lot of charities privately that I never talk about because I don't feel the need to, right? And so I don't know, it's a little bit tricky. And speaking of Beyonce, do you notice how Beyonce's not in any of these pictures? Do you notice how Beyonce is not in any of the pictures? And the only pictures where we caught her was because her mama blew up her spot. There's something interesting about that. A part of me wonders if she saw how tricky things were when she was spotted at that table with Jared Kushner and Trump's daughter and saw the backlash and for optics decided to pull away. I will say that I was there. This is not a name drop. I was actually in the room, third row, right behind June Ambrose, when Jay-Z and Meek Mills and the guy from the football team, the rich guy who's helping them, announced the Reform Alliance. I happened to be in New York at the time. I was working for the Griot, and they need to send a journalist to go to the press conference to do a write-up on it. And I just happened to be in town, and they assigned me to the story. And so it's June Ambrose, the fashion, the stylist. It's all, I'm not going to name everybody, but it's everybody that you can imagine associated with the Rock Nation. And on the stage, about maybe 15 feet away, because the stage was very close, was Hove and Meek Mill. And one of the things that struck me when I was there was Jay-Z is very quiet. Like, he doesn't like to be the first to talk. He likes to watch the room and only speak when he has something to add. He doesn't need to be the loudest room and the voice in the room. And when he stood up and started speaking, the level of intentionality and emotional investment and financial investment he conveyed. And then Meek, Meek can be very emotional. Okay. Meek got a lot of feelings. And when Meek brought up people who had been wrongfully incarcerated for much longer than is humane, hearing those stories really moved me. And so I've always had a soft spot for the Reform Alliance. And so when I saw that the Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump picture took place at a Reform Alliance gala, I paused because people were like, well, it's a charity. Hove doesn't have any say about who is sitting next to him. But I was like, no, I was there when they announced it. He has a lot of say because it's his foundation with Meek. He totally had the power to choose who could sit at that table. And so I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't want to speculate too much, but it's a curious case of what happens when you're a billionaire, because being a billionaire is such rarefied air. Y'all are saying, and I'm not saying this to be messy, and I love Beyonce and all that good stuff, but I also have to tell the truth, right? When you're a billionaire, it's such rarefied air, other billionaires almost become avoidable. It's almost like living in LA and working in the industry. Working in the industry is such rarefied air. When I say I'm not name dropping, I'm really not name dropping. It's almost impossible not to run into people because LA is a shiny small town, right? And so, yeah, I wonder how much of this is proximity versus politics, social and political politics, versus just like, hey, I don't agree with you, but we're still friends. A part of me wonders and cannot jump to conclusions because I've seen different iterations. I've been in rooms with people that I know y'all cannot stand and had great conversations with them and enjoyed them in the moment, even though I know I don't fuck with their politics and it'd be a bad idea for me to post pictures with them. Right? I was at a brunch with Kanye West and we had words, right? And it's tricky. I'll just say it's easy to paint it as black and white from the outside, but when you're in the room, it's very, very tricky. And I will say this too as well. If you're somebody who has a hard time navigating office politics because you don't like Pam from accounting, but you're hoping to get a raise and she's the one who has to approve it, and so you have to smile at Pam for political reasons, if you understand that, then how can you not understand how tricky it is for people who are at this level? If you're struggling making 120K a year, imagine how tricky it is when there's billions and trillions in the room. So again, I'm not shooting bail. I'm just saying that I believe in you. I believe there are million people who will be millionaires who are watching this, right? I believe there are people who have dreams and have a purpose that will bring their family affluence. I'm praying that for you, right? I'm sending that juju out to whoever is listening to this, who this resonates for them. And if that is the case, rather than make you ill at ease with the wealth that I know that you are manifesting and going to get, I want you to start humanizing people who are already there so you can be intentional about how you show up when it's your turn. Does that make sense, guys? Because I really want to have this conversation around money in a way that isn't so steeped in lack. Because again, I said this before, so many YouTubers who have hundreds of thousands of followers and who I know because of what I'm making, I know what they're making, come on here and pretend to be broke and pretend to be one of y'all, to be relatable, and they're lying. They're lying. Your favorite cultural commentarian with 300K followers who's making 25K a month plus from YouTube is not your peer. They're pretending to be for clicks, but they're not your peer.
I mean, we recently saw Billie Eilish come out and call out billionaires in the room after she was given an award.
Love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorties. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Basically,
I love that you said that, because if I was in a room full of billionaires, I would have said the same shit. Y'all remind me, when we hit 1,000, there's a lot of stories that I want to share when we hit 1,000. Number one, what happened with me and Melissa Ford, for real, the real story. That's going to be behind the paywall. What happened when me and Kanye met and I unintentionally chin-checked him in a room full of execs. We're going to talk about that. There's a lot of stories I want to share when we get to 1,000 or more. And one thing I will tell you is it has been proven time and time again, if you put me in a room full of billionaires, because I've had dinner or lunch with a billionaire on more than one occasion. I'm pausing on that so you understand that I'm not just talking on my ass. I have been at a table with a billionaire on more than one occasion, and I promise you I did not give a shit. I talk to them the way I talk to y'all. And so when I see people like Billie Eilish who are willing to call out the billionaires and be like, hey, yo, I'm 100 millionaire, but y'all got like 20 times that. Y'all not going to cut nobody a check. I get it, because it would bother me too. This is who Billie was before she had the money, right? Money amplifies you, right? It would bother me too. And so I love that someone this young, because it's easy to talk your talk when you're in your late 30s and early 40s and beyond. But for somebody as young as her to be doing this, I think is exemplary.
Saying, you know, why aren't you guys donating more money? You know, like, I'm over here donating and you guys have way more money than me. And people loved her for it.
The picture that caused the backlash. Yeah, I saw the Mandani and Trump thing. We'll talk about that at some point, maybe. This picture, I'm gonna make it big and make myself small. You gotta make it big, bitch. This picture sparked such a firestorm. Wait a minute. I think there's one of the videos that I did not include. I'm just realizing that in my luxury videos, there might be a video that I didn't include, because Beyonce is now getting dragged. She was trending all over my threads yesterday, because her and Mariah Carey have been sending those automated holiday things about different drops and different merch. And everybody's saying, Beyonce, you are dropping something new every 5 minutes. Do you not know we are broke? And I find that interesting, because we're always claiming broke, and yet we always find a way to pay for her shows, right? So let's talk about how Miss Tina, none of the pictures that Kris Jenner posted had Beyonce in it. Miss Tina is who, and bless her soul, she's so sweet. Miss Tina, when you meet her, she acts like she's an auntie. She is sincerely who she purports to be. She is not a fraud. Miss Tina was so happy to post this picture. She didn't realize that Beyonce was trying to be incognito, allegedly.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey guys, it's your girl Jen Troy. Hey, and when I covered this story earlier today, I listed celebrities: Oprah, Tyler Perry, Mariah Carey, but I did not know that Beyonce herself and Miss Tina Knowles attended the party as well. Where was this picture? I'm just seeing it because Miss Tina Knowles decided to post it on her page and share it, but I don't see anybody else posting this picture of Beyonce and Miss Tina Knowles being at the party.
So now I see there's controversy surrounding Beyonce attending the birthday event of Kris Jenner. Kris Jenner, the person whose ex is a supporter of MAGA, and her daughter Kim Kardashian is also a supporter of MAGA. She's made enough implications for us to know that. And let's not act like Kris Jenner, regardless of her political ties, is not a complex and problematic person.
Last night at a bar, a guy came up to me and we were talking politics and he was like, I'm so left, eat the rich, except for like Beyonce. And I was like, baby, what part of eat the rich don't you understand?
Have you guys peeped this, that people say eat the rich, but they always say except for Beyonce? I have heard that, and I do think it's tricky.
All of them, baby. All of them. Salt, pepper, and garlic with a spritz of lime.
Damn.
Every single rich person. Listen, I love Beyonce. I love her music. However, if it comes down to it and I gotta eat a rich person and it's between Beyonce and Taylor Swift, I'm having seconds. I'm having double dinner.
Oh.
The phrase eat the rich originated around the French Revolution.
You guys know I love historical context. A bitch loves historical context, and so I'm intentionally putting in the etymology of the coin of phrase so that we all understand where it comes from and how it's applied, because I never want to assume that we're all operating from the same understanding.
And is attributed to philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau. When the people shall have nothing more to eat, they will eat the rich. The phrase regained popularity in the 1980s and 90s. And today, the hashtag Eat the Rich on TikTok holds over 830 million views. Rousseau would be amazed.
It holds 830 million views, but yet every time you go on TikTok, it's somebody telling you how to become rich, becoming an influencer. Every time you go on TikTok, it's somebody giving you a tip about how to make $50,000 a week on TikTok. So which one is it? Do y'all want to make $50,000 a week on TikTok Shop, or do y'all want to eat the rich? This is where y'all lose me. The app that is the most obsessed with people becoming rich from being content creators is also the app where they talk the most about eating the rich. My pattern recognition feels itchy when I think about how y'all moving. Something in the water ain't clean.
I genuinely think the only reason so many people are even against the Eat the Rich movement is because they think that they are in that group. Mm-hmm. Millionaires, step aside. I'm not even looking at y'all. If you drive a nice...
You see, she's saying what y'all kept on saying in the comments. She's saying, millionaires, I'm not talking about y'all. Millionaires, I'm not talking about y'all. Honey, not everybody in the Eat the Rich cohort agrees with this.
Car, you have a big home, you go on vacation all the time. I don't give a fuck. I'm not looking at your pockets. I'm strictly talking about fucking billionaires. Okay. The people who have amassed a disgusting amount of wealth that could only accumulate from exploitation.
I'm just here to squash the rumor that is when people on the left say eat the rich, they're not talking about millionaires. They're not talking about multimillionaires. They're talking about billionaires. No, babe. I'm talking about millionaires. And the reason I'm talking about multimillionaires, because there are so many of them, there are more multimillionaires than there are billionaires, is because the same system that has created their wealth is the system that has created billionaires' wealth. And I don't believe you can really hoard wealth, hoard $5 million, even as little.
She's lost me on the word hoard. $5 million is not hoarding if you're operating from a place of network poverty, when you're taking care of your family because you are the chosen one who's making an income that they can't make. The amount of money that I have in my savings account now, because tax season is coming up, when you're an independent contractor, you have to take out about 20 to 40% of the money you make and put it aside for taxes because you pay taxes all at once, right? So for taxes, for medical emergencies with my mama, for medical emergencies with myself, I'm getting dental surgery, unexpected dental surgery next Wednesday. Did not expect that I was going to need to get dental surgery. Just found out, and I got to drop a couple $1,000s last minute on dental surgery, right? It's a surgery that even insurance doesn't cover. If I didn't have a savings account, I would be shit out of luck, right? I'd be up here begging for money for a side tooth. And guess what, though? I'm not above it if I ever have to. And somebody might look at my savings account and be like, oh, Blue is set. No, I'm not. You don't know people's lives. $5 million for somebody who lives in Los Angeles and has dependents is not hoarding. It's enough for them to retire on if they live responsibly, but they're not hoarding it. That's not hoarding for everybody. And so part of why the Eat the Rich movement makes me nervous is, I've said this time and time again, economists have said that $100,000 in the rest of America is only $50K in New York and LA. So your 5 million is only 2.5 for me. Half of it is already gone. Your 5 million is only 2.5 for me because I live in Los Angeles. Then you add my mama, you add my travel. What if I want to buy a home? A crack house in Los Angeles is about $975,000. If you want to get a trap house in LA, you're paying almost $1 million. Unless you want to go so deep in the valley that you're in the fucking sphincter of the devil. Right? So $1 million is for me to live in a trap house. The other $1 million is for me to feed me and my mama. Come on, y'all. Hoarding $5 million, that statement is why you guys immediately lose me. $5 million is a symbol to you. So those of us who actually know what that means in tangible, like real life, that's not hoarding. If you live in a major city, $5 million is not hoarding. That's you making sure your family is covered. Yes, I did say sphincter. My bad, y'all. Y'all know that my brain be going places. Oopsie.
Plus $5 million, yes. I do not believe you can sit on that amount of money while also knowing many Americans cannot afford their healthcare premiums, don't have emergency savings, can't afford their groceries, can't find a job, and you still are just sitting on that money.
Some people will call me a hater for this, but my version of Eat the Rich is, if you are wealthy, I'm not engaging with any of your content. I'm not liking your video. I'm not.
Wait a minute. So wait. So now Eat the Rich has gone to, if you're wealthy, I'm not engaging. So guys, if I come on here and y'all see I do these long 3+ hour lives, I pour into y'all. I give out more free game than what y'all compensate me for. The people who've been coming to me for years and never given me a single dollar, and I still make sure they walk away with gems to change their lives. And you're telling me that if I saved up enough money over a couple of years and decided to share a small tour of a house that I saved up for, you would stop following me because I figured out a way to bust my ass and become affluent? You guys would just stop following me because I finally made it? That makes sense to y'all. That makes sense to y'all. Again, I'm okay with us disagreeing on this, and I get why people feel this way. It's just, there's too many holes in it for me.
Commenting, favoriting, nothing like that, because there's so many small creators out here who are trying to make it off of TikTok, and I refuse to make a wealthy person even more wealthier. Like, no.
So people are saying they're not going to engage with rich people's content, you know, because there's people that actually need help and that those people don't need any more money. To me, that gives hater energy. I don't know. I disagree with y'all. How are you mad because somebody else is rich? If it was you that was the rich one, would you want people to not engage with your content just because you're rich? Does that mean you're a bad person? Like, y'all need a reality check for real. I get it. There's plenty of creators on here that are struggling, that need help. But a lot of these people that are rich, they've put in the work. And if they didn't put in the work, somebody else in their family did, so that they're not struggling.
By the way, if there's anybody in here who does believe in Eat the Rich, I need you to understand that it's valid. It doesn't work for me, but it's a valid way to see the world. I just see that a lot of people are using Eat the Rich as an excuse to stoke their despair rather than healing from what is causing them the despair. That, for me, I think as an EQ coach is what makes me nervous. right? Somebody said here, Orange said, eat the rich was supposed to be directed at the greedy when everyone else is starving. Exactly. But for you to say that affluence alone makes you someone who's not worthy of support.
So why the fuck are y'all mad about that? That to me sounds like, oh, I want people to do good, but I don't want them to do better than me. Like, am I hearing this? Are we listening to the same TikToks, y'all? And then a lot of y'all are agreeing. So now I'm really confused and I'm really scared. Y'all are.
Wait, somebody said too many TikToks about eating the rich and not enough about robbing folks. Wait. And not your name is Naja Soul. Baby, you know the allegations. Don't do that. But that's actually really funny, though. That was actually
Openly admitting to being haters.
Yeah, I'm jealous of Kim Kardashian for not having to go get a degree first and then go to law school. So 7 years of school in total, and being so rich to the point where she can just skip all of those 7 years and take the bar exactly straight. What are you defending, dumbass bitch?
Oh.
Y'all motherfuckers are stupid.
I was about to clip this video about Mariah and Beyonce Christmas to pull up, but she just started cussing everybody out. She like that lady on the plane. Oh. Do y'all see how much pain is in this? And the pain is probably valid, so I'm not judging it. I'm just observing it. I'm not judging, just observing. When it comes to eat the rich and something as personal and painful as survival, because I know what it's like to be so hungry, you can feel your stomach touching your back. I'll never forget that feeling. And so I'm not judging. It just hurts me that she's in this much pain.
Y'all are stupid. So me, I'm jealous of the white lady who's a billionaire who skipped 7 years of education to take the bar exam and still fucking failed, all while supporting and benefiting from the genocide in Palestine. Oh. And bitch, you in my comments calling me jealous of a bitch that supports a genocide?
Does she know that it's possible that she is? Everything that she just said makes me agree with whoever made the comment, and also understand that I understand why she feels that way, but why is she acting like she just convinced us that she wasn't? I'm now convinced that she is. Yes, guys, what do we always say? Two truths can coexist. For those who are asking why we think Kim Kardashian is MAGA, when Elon Musk was being dragged for rigging the election and all types of heinous things to silence the voices of those of us who believe that all humans are humans, including the Black and brown and queer ones. He came out with that robot car, and right after he came out with that car, Kim Kardashian was seen driving around with it. And she's worked with Trump. So if I have worked with Trump and I'm riding around in Elon's new robot car at a time where everybody's divesting from him, and she did a whole photo shoot with it too, it feels like I'm throwing an endorsement or a dog whistle. So yeah, there's been a lot of speculation that Kris Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner is not the only person in that family who was MAGA.
Oh my God, you coons make me sick.
Girl, don't do it. It's not
already did it.
Not Rihanna. I love Rihanna.
Already did it.
It's always eat the rich, eat the rich, eat the rich until the rich is getting married. Eat the rich, eat the rich, eat the rich until the rich is doing some $50,000 haul or $100,000.
Did you hear what she said? It's always eat the rich, eat the rich, eat the rich until the rich is getting married. Now you're all gagging and sharing the videos and the pictures about how this is your dream wedding. Ooh, I fear she ate with that. Yes, and she just opened the Skim stores in Israel. It's pretty loud at this point that she might be a Zionist and MAGA. It's pretty loud, right? And I'm not going to get into a whole conversation around that. I'm just saying her actions have been loud. But she also posted a pro Palestine like thing, so she said it herself low key. But she is right though. She said it's eat the rich until we're doing a $50,000 shopping haul or having a wedding. Suddenly, it's where goals.
$1,000 haul, or showing you their collection of Birkin bags, or showing you their collection of Van Cleef accessories, necklaces, rings, bracelets, whatever. Then it becomes rich people who rich right.
Yep.
Rich people who rich right. It's made me realize that people do not actually hate rich people or hate billionaires. They just wish they were part of them. They hate that they're not rich. It's really not eat the rich. It's I want to eat with the rich.
Now, this doesn't apply to everybody, but I do think there's a valid point that for some people, not all, right? Because we don't want to act like this is all absolutes. But for some people, it's not really eat the rich. It's I want to eat with the rich. I do think there is some FOMO. Mind you, there are some evil rich people. There are some heinous people who have committed atrocities all in the name of money. And so I need y'all to understand that this is, again, it's not me caping for the rich. It's me saying that if we stop saying eat the rich, then maybe we can figure out how to pull ourselves out of despair and figure out how to become less poor, less broke, and maybe more rich, right? Because it's hard to admit you're aspiring to be something while talking shit about it. And not everybody wants to be rich, right? Well, somebody said they got their candles. Yay, I'm so happy you got your candles. We have a shipment going out either tomorrow or Monday, probably Monday, because I'm so exhausted and burnt out from all the travel. But yeah, I'm so happy you guys got the candles. As you guys can see, I've been telling you this winter, I'm working entirely with Pure Sweetness. And as many of you have emailed me and told me, I look different as a result of all the work I've been doing with my Pure Sweetness candles. For those who are wondering what Pure Sweetness is, I have a line of spiritual candles. They all go through a ritual. Yes, I come from a lineage of witches, good witches. I'm a Christ-like witch, okay? But I do ceremony and I bless these candles. These are prayer candles that I've been making for my friends and family for years. I started selling them to the public, a very curated public, and they've been doing really well. Shout out to everybody who's been buying the candles. If you're looking for the link, it's bluecentricshop.com. The descriptions for all the candles are in the description box of this video. And the candle that I decided to work with during cuffing season is Pure Sweetness. It's the Divine Feminine candle. And that candle is to tap into your sensual, soft, feminine Diana Carroll, Beyonce, Dorothy Dandridge kind of juju. And so it's not lost on me that about a month or so into working with my Pure Divine Feminine candle, I do feel like I look and feel softer than I did a couple of months ago over the summer. I am, for those who have pointed it out, I am seeing that there is a bit of a Divine Feminine happening. And that's the thing about working with candle magic is the ritual of, and there's directions. The ritual is so intentional. You're so intentional when you're doing candle magic. You have to clean your house. You have to journal. You have to do a spiritual bath. It's actually almost like a spiritual boot camp to keep you in line as you're working with the candles. So shout out to those of you who've been telling me that you've been working with them. Somebody said they got the bath. I got bath salts and need to get the return to sender and protection candles. Yeah. The return to sender protection candles, to me, that's the insurance policy. I don't care what I'm going through. I do those every quarter. I'll probably start a return to sender and then protection candle probably next month. Like I like to do return to sender candles very heavily in December because I want to purge everything from the current year that I don't want to follow me into the new year. So I think I'm going to do candles of the month. And if we had to do a candle of the month, I think for December, I think for November. Let's start now. For November, I think the return to sender is the candle of November. That candle is the one that I think I'm probably going to do as soon as I pivot a little bit away from my Pure Sweetness ones. Somebody said, Blue, can I burn 4-hour protection and 4-hour road opener, or do I need to finish the whole protector first? Finish the whole thing first. Finish an entire candle by itself because you need to be focused on that energy and then move on. I will also say wait at least 2 to 5, maybe a week tops, a days between candles if you are really being concentrated because you want to give yourself a time to rest before your next ritual. You don't want to burn yourself out. Anyway, sorry for that detour. So like she's saying, some people are saying eat the rich because they mean it, and some people are saying eat the rich because low-key they actually are just sad and envious and disempowered and want to eat with the rich. That's a bar. She may have a point.
There were things that people did like about the birthday, okay?
And here's her point. I sliced this video here on purpose. This entire video was about how everybody's mad at the Kardashians for the 70th birthday party. But the same party where everybody was mad, the other side of the internet, some of them the same people, were congratulating Kim for vlogging because her opulent rich girl vlogs were so fun that people were begging for more. So you're saying eat the rich. This feels like the Hunger Games. Why is Beyonce there? Why are you throwing a party at Jeff Bezos' house? And in the next breath, oh my God, Kim, I love these vlogs. I feel like I get to be rich with you. Huh? So are you coming or not? And for the person who said blue, we can say multitudes, the contradictions are flying. I think money is the place where people's hypocrisy and their fears of inadequacy, I think it's one of the places where it shows up the most. I think it's a tie between money and love. I think different things show up more for love and different things show up more for money. But survival and desirability shows up a lot when it comes to money and or love. So yeah, this little turn of events, I was like, wait a minute, y'all went from dragging her to saying that you love her vlogs?
And it was that Kim has decided that she was going to be in her vlogging era. She's recently taken to TikTok to post these vlogs, and she shared behind the scenes of her getting ready for the party and also her at the party, Kris Jenner dancing with Justin Bieber, Kylie, like the girls that were taking shots. You could tell they were very drunk by the end of the night. People were kind of living for it.
I love Kim's dress.
Vlog. I'm officially the last 20-year-old in the family, and also I've been doing this vlog shit for so fucking long. You guys are so lag for this. The birthday party was a success. I thought North was the TikTok.
Going. Stevie Wonder is here. Bruno Mars performed.
And you planned this?
I planned it.
Are you guys going to pretend that you wouldn't enjoy watching a vlog like this? Some of you might not, so I don't want to pretend that we all love this shit. But can we be honest? This is the kind of shit that goes viral on TikTok and YouTube all the time. This is the kind of shit that goes viral all the time.
I'm just so happy. My mom is so happy because she deserves it.
Kim also included a clip of her saying that psychics are BS because 4 of them told her that she was going to pass the bar.
Now, hold on. How we get in this? As somebody who does readings, psychics can only tell you probability. We're not God. We can't tell you 100% certainty. Now, if they told you 100% certainty, then maybe you have a reason to be mad. But I don't ever tell anybody with 100% certainty. You know why? Free will. Something could have been true when you talked to me, and then because you found out and you deviated from the plan, it changes. That's the tricky part about getting readings is you do more of what you like and less of what you don't, because you actually do have the ability to change your destiny to some degree.
Which, of course, we now know she did not pass the bar.
I'm just letting you guys know that all of the psychics that we have met with and that we're obsessed with are all full of shit. They all collectively, maybe 4 of them, have told me I was going to pass the bar. So they're all full pathological liars. Don't believe anything they say.
She made it known on Instagram last weekend as people knew that she had taken it. She had said it in interviews that she took it this year and that she was waiting for the results in November. And while the day...
Somebody said maybe the psychic meant after the 10th time. Y'all ain't shit. Y'all saw... Y'all know that girl was upset. Y'all know that girl was upset.
She didn't post a fancy post on Instagram. She just said on her story, well, I'm not a lawyer yet. I just play a very well-dressed one on TV. 6 years into this law journey, and I'm still all in until I pass the bar. No shortcuts, no giving up. Just
no shortcuts, no giving up. But according to that girl, her not going to law school was a shortcut. I don't know how I feel about that, because if you're studying while you're on set, you're studying in between business meetings, you're studying on your private jet. How's that different from when kids go to school while they're child actors and they get their college diploma from being on set? I mean, how is that different? Like, that's a real question. That's not me caping for Kim. How is Kim studying on set and studying in between business meetings different than a child who is an actor who gets a degree or diploma from studying on set? Do you have to be in a brick and mortar schoolhouse for it to count? Because then what happens to people who do online learning? If we think online learning is okay, Kim not going to a traditional college, but still learning. Am I missing something? Like, no, sincerely, how is that different? I get that y'all don't like this lady, and there's lots of valid reasons not to like her, but sometimes the equivalencies are a little bit shaky for me.
More studying and even more determination. Thank you to everyone who has supported and encouraged me along the way so far. Falling short isn't failure, it's fuel. I was so close to passing the exam, and that only motivates me even more. Let's go. And well, like I said, when it came to her vlog and her opening up and her being real in this, people were basically saying that they need to fire whoever is producing their Hulu show and hire whoever put together this vlog, because They got the right clips. They edited it perfect. They were like, we're seeing her interact with Paris Hilton, Scott, and Kylie in like a real way, and a way that is not feeling very scripted. People said, Kim, this is what the people want. Kim, this is what we thought the Hulu series was going to be. Kim, whoever did the editing, keep them and fire the Hulu producers. We want this. And I will say this vlog did feel very reminiscent of the old Kardashians.
Not to be annoying, but did you guys ever notice how like in movies or TV shows where there was like a rich character like in parallel with a poor character, and like the rich character always envies the poor character because like the poor character's family was always around?
Yeah, have y'all noticed that? We were just talking about this earlier, right? Like Charles Dickinson and all these Night Before Christmas, how if you're rich, you're immediately miserable, and if you're poor, you must have an amazing family. As someone who grew up broke, what neighborhood did y'all get this from? That poor people all have amazing families and rich people all, like, again, it's the lies we tell ourselves to make our egos feel better about our circumstance.
And the rich kid's family was never around, but like in reality, usually it's the poor kid's parents that aren't around because their parents are constantly working.
Yep.
And it's actually the middle class family where the parents are always around and they like seem to have wealth.
That's true.
And it kind of already like always bugged me that it was like, oh, like money can't buy you happiness. Like look at this poor rich kid, their family's never around. Because in reality, having your parents around is a luxury that can be bought. Like, whose parents do you think are going to be able to afford to take PTO? The rich family that doesn't have to worry about putting food on the table, or the poor family that literally has to work just to barely make ends meet? Let's be realistic here.
My favorite genre is financially stable, wealthy Black women.
Ooh, financially stable, wealthy Black women. You know what? I like that genre too. So I'm going to take this video down because it feels like a positive note and pull up this Mariah and Beyonce video that I found, because when Beyonce was trending on my flight yesterday and people were like, Beyonce, enough, stop taking our coins. You're trying to rob us. I was like, what's going on?
Today's internet, you're going to hear it. Mariah Carey and Beyonce just turned Christmas into a case study in capitalism, accountability, and parasocial attachment. Because if the system
I haven't watched this video yet, so we're watching it together, guys.
Can convince the most culturally influential and marginalized group, the Black audience, to fold first, the rest will follow. Let's start with Mariah. We all saw the ad and heard the message. We heard y'all are protesting, but the system still needs you to consume. Then Beyonce drops a Christmas merch line, and the same people who were criticizing Mariah.
I will say, when Beyonce dropped the Christmas merch line, several people, about 3 or 4 people I know who actually have ties to her, were like, I love her, but this is a lot. In the words of New York, do you know you may have 30 minutes? Like, girl, who's paying for this? We just recovered from Cowboy Carter. So I will say, even some of Beyonce's staunchest supporters have been telling me they feel a way that she has been sending a lot of texts. If you've ever been to a Beyonce concert, you know we're all on her email list. It's been a lot of text trying to get us to buy stuff lately. And mind you, I'm saying this as a bitch who uses sacred on my edges. The edge drops, busted. So she got me. I bought about 2 or 3 bottles of edge drops for the holidays during a recent text. She got me.
Mariah are now saying maybe just one robe. The Beehive likes to think that they're the responsible parasocial group, that they hold her accountable. But accountability without action is...
Oh, by the way, guys, we're wrapping up because I'm about to go to bed too. We're wrapping up in like 10 minutes, so we're right behind you.
Just performance. On a macro level, celebrities are just ambassadors of capitalism. Their entire job is to make emotional persuasion look like a choice.
Their job is to make emotional persuasion look like a choice. Absolutely correct. No notes. She nailed it.
The system knows this. It's by design. We grow up with these people, so our attachment starts feeling like loyalty and not marketing. Yes, on Beyonce's internet, you're going to hear it.
Wait, 100 million on the edge drops alone? Well, I have something to do with that. I buy them 3 bottles at a time, so yeah, I got something to do with that. I'm not even gonna hate. Here's the thing. I like products that work. I'm not getting edge drops because Beyonce makes them. In fact, when I heard that Beyonce had a hair care line, I was like, child, the way my money is set up, I don't have no time for that. I'd rather spend it on flights Okay. And so I did not want to buy Sacred simply because I didn't want to create a habit that I couldn't afford to keep while I'm in this era of being fiscally responsible and paying my bills on time and having a savings and all that good stuff. And then I took out some braids that ate my edges. And I saw some before and after pictures and was like, oh, these shits seem to work. And they just so happen to be a Beyonce product. So here's the thing I will say. If you have a product like Sacred that's high quality, works really well, my hair is flourishing from using Sacred, and it happens to be Beyonce, I can actually get behind that. But a robe or a t-shirt with a cowboy on it, that's a little different.
Mariah Carey and Beyonce just turned Christmas into a case study in capitalism, accountability, and parasocial attachment, because if the system can convince the most culturally influential and marginalized group, the Black audience, to fold first, the rest will follow. Let's start with Mariah. We all saw the ad and heard the message. We heard y'all are protesting, but the system still needs.
So guys, what I'm hearing is, I think it's on a loop now. What I'm hearing is people are sick of Beyonce because she keeps asking for money while we're in a recession that everybody's in denial about. That's fair. I don't have any feedback on that. I think that is fair. I also think that dropping products during Christmas is also standard. So I think she might be on autopilot and maybe her team didn't read the room well enough. But that's a fair critique where I can see both sides, but I understand why people are like, girl, enough.
There's just a lightness, airy demeanor in which they move around life with. That's like, yeah, I'm chilling.
So this is a girl who's talking about how her favorite genre of person is soft life Black woman who is comfortable with luxury. Not a girl who has a chip on her shoulder and wants everybody to see her Birkin bag, but a woman who has relaxed into her power. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? This video is about how a Black woman who is relaxed into her power, a brown woman who is relaxed into her power, any woman who is relaxed into her power when it comes to luxury, where she's doing it because it feels good, but she's not using it as an armor to hide from things that she refuses to heal from. Because being wealthy, being in luxury, being a soft girl while healed is very different from doing those things while unhealed or as a distraction from healing. Two very totally different things, right? And so for those of you who are like, oh, soft girl life is some bullshit, it's only bullshit if you're bullshit, respectfully.
I don't have stress. And I love to see that. I eat it up. They're usually really nice. Like, they're so nice, but they have this confidence that it's like, you can't really mess with me. And I like to see that as well. And I know because I feel like I give those vibes. So like when we see each other in action, it's like, yes, I see you, sis.
That's true.
We can acknowledge each other. And I live in Atlanta, so there's no shortage of that. It just makes my day every time.
And I love that, guys. I love what she said, that the women who are steeped in luxury and wealth, but are nice people because they're relaxed in it and it's not a chip on their shoulder, there is a kindness and an I see you, almost like an energetic generosity that they have. She's right. I can count on one hand how many times I've run into another Black woman while being in first class. And whenever I do, I smile, I look at her, I make sure that we recognize each other, because we have to remind each other that we belong, right? You can be in the room without being of it. Like, I'm on the internet, but the internet is not going to in any way make me think that I'm not who the fuck I know I am. And again, we started this live with saying, those of us who can be apathetic within reason to the internet are those who are built for it. Those of us who can be apathetic to the optics of wealth, because we understand the value that it can bring to our lives without conflating it with being the only thing that makes our lives valuable, are the perfect people to acquire it. So I don't think I want to eat the rich. I think I want to eat with good people who happen to be rich, who are trying to find ways to help other people also find their own abundance. That's my nuanced take on it. You don't have to agree. I'm sure there's going to be some radical people in here who are like, no, Blue, you're a capitalist, eat the rich. Sure. I just want y'all to be abundant. I want people to flourish. In the words of Natasha Rothwell, my whole tribe is flourishing. You know what they call that? Growth, right? Growth. I want you guys to flourish. And I don't want you to think that being broke is a badge of honor, because there's something really sad about that. Bonding over being broken or being broke just always felt weird to me. All right, guys. Well, that was our Friday Night Live. We're not going to do an after show because I decided to do an entire Gen Pop show. And the reason why I'm doing a Gen Pop show is because on Sunday, shout out to the members up. On Sunday, we are doing part two of the tarot class. For those who do not know about Tarot Academy, again, look in the description. Part 1 is, if you missed it live, because if you're a member, you can watch it live, but after the first 24 hours, I have to put it on Patreon because YouTube keeps on giving me copyright strikes on the material. So if you want to join us live, join us on Sunday. I'll be posting the time and everything else, but I'm going to probably make the placeholder in the morning after I sleep. We're going to have fun on Sunday, the 23rd of November. We're going to learn how to read tarot. Part 2, if you want to join us as a member, number 1, become a member. What are you waiting for? And number 2, please, if you haven't, watch part 1. Members up. Yes, members. If you haven't already, watch part 1 that's in the description. So that when we get to part 2, you know what I'm talking about, because part 1 was 3 hours. I'm not going to recap part 1. Y'all know I like to trick on y'all with the time. So watch part 1 first. You have 48 hours to do so. And on Sunday, we're going to do part 2. And yes, well, thank you for telling everybody to like the live. Oh, you got your tarot cards. Yay. I love y'all so much. All right, guys, I'm exhausted. I'm getting my hair done tomorrow. I'm getting a whole new hairstyle. I hope it comes out cute. So the next time you see me on Sunday, I will probably be looking a little bit different. I will say, though, Ginger is a vibe. I like her. She's going to come back. She only lasted about 2 weeks, but she will definitely be back. All right. Until next time, love y'all, family. Bye. Oh, share the live. Okay. Help me get my 1,000 subscribers. All right. Love y'all.